Hello. Get set up here. The chat blocks that. So let me move the gameplay down. Yeah. So I'm not gonna be able to do a long stream today, but I wanted to watch the Pokemon fact compilation for Gen 2. Thought people might enjoy doing that. I haven't watched through the whole thing. Even when I put it together, I just assumed it was correct. So who knows if there's doubles of things? I know I sure don't. Well, yeah, let's have a look. And then I was also going to try to find the legendaries, the ruin legendaries as well, because I actually haven't tried to look around for those stakes. Let me have a look here. So I did some off-stream grinding on the old Pokédex Aruni, and it looks like I have 9 more Pokemon to go. So those are the legendaries, basically, including Koraidon. Picnic in the Ocean. Yeah, including Koraidon. There's also King Gambit, Stonejourner. Maybe like 2. Oh yeah, Dragalge. And I think that's it. But I have those organized. People are gonna trade me those anyway. Hey Tim. Hey NPC. Hey Gamerpug. Hey MM. Hello Czar. So yeah, that I'm gonna hunt down the rest of the stakes, because honestly, I've no idea what ones I have and what ones I don't. In the background, while we watch the Gen 2 Pokemon fact compilation together. Oh, you can be here all day. That's great, Tim. Random chat comments assemble. Hell yeah. Alrighty, let me have a look-see. Get this started. Let me know if people want the game audio from the Switch muted. If it's too distracting, I will absolutely mute it. Also, do let me know if my own voice comes through. Comes through my mic from my speakers. Because, if it does, I'll just throw on headphones. But normally when I play games, I just have them low. What's your favorite Gen 2 Pokemon? Let me know in the comments. Pokemon fact number 152. Hey. Did you know that Chikorita's scent is extremely calming? That's right, besides using its leaf to find nice, warm, humid places to bathe in the sun, in battle, Chikorita will wave its leaf around to keep enemies at bay, wafting around a sweet fragrance. The scent will calm battling Pokemon and creates a cozy, friendly atmosphere. Also, I've posted the full hour and 17-minute Gen 1 Pokemon Gen 1 compilation on my Reggie Robshot channel. If you want to catch up for Generation 2, you might want to check it out. Rewatching, I'm wearing a Spider-Man shirt there, and I'm wearing interesting. My last few TikToks Charizard one here. Views. And then there's Chikorita. Chikorita had shit views on TikTok for no reason. To fight. Bayleaf's aroma is said to be spicy. The scent can also act as a stimulant, and anyone who smells it becomes energetic. Oh, and in Pokemon Gold, we're just straight out told it makes you want to fight. Bayleaf just sounds like it's a methamphetamine Pokemon. As always, thank you to my patrons. You really help keep things running around here, as well as this concentrated Bayleaf scent. Just in case people don't get the joke, that's just beard oil. What I've wanted for years is a Pokemon version of Dungeons and Dragons.
Hello,
Pokemon fact
Tamako.
number 154. Did you know
I'm rewatching my Pokemon fact compilation
back from the dead?
from Gen
learned
2.
in a few of its Pokedex entries that the fragrance
Because
from
I just finished
Meganium's
Gen 2.
petals calms aggressive emotions. And
As
even
I'm
just
playing
standing
games
next to
in
it
the
will
corner,
make you
it's
feel completely
ADHD
refreshed.
stream.
That's
Ooh,
pretty impressive
yeah.
as it is, but it turns out that just Meganium's breath has the power to bring dead plants and flowers back to life. So now all I can think is whether or not that applies to other grass Pokemon. Cyndaquil without its flame.
Just a little note. You'll notice for a good half of these entries, I just have the fucking patron credits scrolling up the screen, and eventually I do put the effort in to put them in the fact thing in the background. Oh, YouTube's been crashing for you, Tim? Huh. Maybe try Twitch if it's still acting up for you. But yeah, eventually I put in the effort to put the fucking the credits into the Pokédex screen itself. Video's a little loud. All right, hold on.
So now all I can think is whether or not that applies to other grass Pokemon. Cyndaquil without its flames is a lot like me without my clothes on. Disappointing and a little sad.
I
Pokemon
forgot
fact
I said
number
that.
155. Did you know that Cyndaquil can become extremely vulnerable? Cyndaquil's main form of defense are the flames that sprout from its back. These flames get more intense when it's angered, startled, or even just defensive. But unfortunately, if it ever gets tired, then the flames will start
How you doing,
to
Tamako, by the
sputter,
way?
and apparently suffers from incomplete combustion. Look, I hear it's very common and it happens all the time.
It does.
Given its lack
I
of other
constantly
means of
suffer
defense
from
and its very
incomplete
timid
combustion.
nature, a tired Cyndaquil would likely end up as very easy prey. Me have no more funnies, so I'm opening a pack of cards. Well, if it isn't Goku. Pokemon fact number 156. Did you know that Quilava likes to turn its back on predators? Ooh, Daddy. Quilava prefers turning its
Half
back
of these
to
I don't
intimidate
remember
things
doing.
by demonstrating how ferociously its fire blazes. The entry in Legends Arceus even says, if a Quilava turns its back to you, watch out, because that usually means it's about to attack. Another odd aspect of Quilava
Piss on the
is
flame?
that not only
Oh,
is
you've
its
fixed
fur
the audio issue in the
non-flammable,
compilation?
but it's
What
stated to
audio
be
issue?
capable of withstanding any fire attack. And given the temperatures that some Pokemon are capable of producing, that's pretty impressive. Look, I might get hate for this, but I prefer Hisuian Typhlosion. Pokemon
It's true,
fact
I do.
number 157. Did you
Incomplete
know that
combustion, so it needs
Typhlosion gets
Viagra, but
so
for
hot
flames?
you
Yes.
can't even see it properly.
Like petrol.
Also, Typhlosion's Pokedex entries mention that in battle, it creates heat shimmers to hide itself.
Oh,
You know,
yeah.
heat shimmers,
The heat shimmers.
hazes, the weird wiggly lines that happen in the air when it gets hot. So big whoop, you can't see it properly. Where's the danger? Well, turns out just by rubbing its fur together, it can create massive fiery explosions. I dropped my phone and completely ruined the screen.
Oh, God, that's right.
It.
I
That's
fucked
the
up
joke. The joke
my
is
last
my
phone.
misery. Pokemon fact number 158. Did you know that
That was a
Totodile's
fucking horrible
jaws
day.
are capable of crushing anything? We're told this in Pokemon
Bro, this stream
Gold,
is
and
packed.
its
It
jaws
is.
are so well developed that it can crush pretty much anything. That
Hello,
would be
everyone.
Diamonds, concrete, titanium.
Just
More
wanted to say I love
concerning
your
is the
fact
fact
video.
that
Stumbled
because
upon them while I was
Totodile
scrolling
is
through the shorts as one does.
snappy
Can't wait
and
for
eager to
each
bite
entry now.
practically
Good,
anything
thank
that
you,
moves.
Alyssa.
Even its own trainer has to be extremely careful. Hey, nothing like a 10-year-old losing their hand to their newly cut Totodile.
Classic.
I'm telling you, it's a missed opportunity by Nintendo that they haven't released Croconaw Crocs. Pokemon fact number 159. Did you know that Croconaw's teeth make it impossible to escape? Once
does.
a Croconaw's jaws have a hold of you, you'll
What's your
quickly
favorite
figure out
Pokemon?
that
Mine's
each one of its 48
Kyogre and
teeth
maybe
point
Regigigas.
backwards. Basically, they make it so
I
no matter
really
how
like
much you
Regigigas.
struggle, you'll never be able to break free. And the Pokedex entry in Alpha Sapphire describes it even more brutally. Forked back like barbed fish hooks, Croconaw's teeth become impossible to remove once
They
they've
have a way with
sunk
words
in.
sometimes.
Oh, and don't worry, if Croconaw loses some of its teeth, they'll just quickly regrow. Unfortunately, this fact's gonna have to get a little saucy. Pokemon fact number 160. Did you know that Feraligatr had a very interesting look in Gen 3? The look in question is Feraligator's back sprite, which looks like he's packing some serious hams. Yeah, for whatever reason, Feraligator's spine ridges were drawn like they were succulent bum cheeks. I mean, look, here's its Gen 3
I don't know why they did this.
Sprites side by side. We've got the expected reptilian spine ridges and the Dynamax Dumpy.
The Dumpy,
honestly, I'm not
though.
sure how they didn't catch this when they were making the game, but it makes me genuinely concerned. Pokemon are like my life goals. Unattainable fiction.
Hell
Pokemon
yeah.
fact number 161. Did you know that Sentret can suffer from extreme separation anxiety? So Sentret
No, I
are
haven't
normally
learned
pack
Japanese
Pokemon.
for a long
They take
time.
turns looking out for danger. While
I'm
the other Sentret sleep, one
I'm
will
extremely
stay awake
bad
and
at learning
so on.
languages
Honestly, they're
through
much more like meerkats
studying.
than ferrets. So anyway, if a Sentret
They seem
is
to come better to
separated
me
from its
through,
pack, it will become
practical,
incapable of sleeping due to
like hearing
fear.
people talk
So
and
good
trying
luck
to
catching a
struggle
Sentret
through
and having it
day
become
to
an
day.
insomniac for the foreseeable future.
For the first year, I have
50,000
thankfully
followers. That is insane.
enough savings
What'll
from the
happen
other
next?
jobs that I've worked
100,000? Well,
that
algorithm,
for the first year I'm
what'll happen
sorted
next? Pokemon
without
fact
having to
number
get a job, so I'm gonna
162.
focus
Did you know
on
that
just learning
Furret
Japanese.
Looks adorable, but it also loves bullying Rattata. At first, it seems like Furret just hunts Rattata for food, as it's said to be surprisingly quick at catching them despite its short legs. But then we turn to Soul Silver, where we learn that yes, Furret is extremely fast, but rather than just catching them, it enjoys chasing.
That's right, it's a
Rattata.
little
so yeah, it's cute
deviant.
and adorable, but it's also a sick murderer that enjoys toying with its prey.
It
And
does.
it's also 6 feet long. Knock, knock.
Oh, yeah.
Who's there? Owls. Owls who? Yes. They do. Pokemon fact
I was proud of that one.
163. Did you know that Hoot Hoot was thought to be a messenger of the gods? What you'll need to know first is that Hoot Hoot starts hooting at the same time every day. They can do this because of a special organ in their body that keeps track of the Earth's rotation. Because of this, in ancient
think
times, people
actual
used
birds
Hoot
can
Hoots
do
instead
that.
of clocks. In fact, Ultra Moon tells us that people cherished Hoot Hoot and considered them divine messengers sent to tell the time. Good to know we can add Hoot Hoot Supplier to Dialga's list of powers. Let me know in the comments if you're
Hoot
Team
Hoot
Scarlet
Supplier.
or Team Violet. Let's get a healthy feud going. Pokemon fact number 164. Did you know that Noctowl was the first ever shiny Pokemon to be shown in the anime? You might be thinking, yeah, whatever, who cares about a differently colored owl? Well, I will remind you that this was during...
Taka, is the issue still on the... Did it play weird for anyone else? Because every time I've played it, it's been perfectly fine. Oh, Tim, Hoot Hoot was the first fact? Holy shit, so... It went the whole way through Gen 1 without a fact coming your way. Well, it's good to know that, that all the videos still spread and find new people. Nice, I like the Reggie trio. The newer Reggies are weird from the newer gens. I like them. I like Reggie Drago and Regieleki. I'm John. Hello, welcome back in, John. I'm really sad there's not more Pokemon that are going to be in versus when Home becomes compatible. I wanted my Gator team. I imagine more Pokemon are going to become compatible when they release DLC, so you should be able to, I assume, bring them in from Home once they release more DLC, kind of like Sword and Shield. You thought I was speaking double? No, yeah, there's just two of me. This is me and my twin brother. Who's doing the can't breathe oxygen challenge for 69 years? You know what? I might lay off that one. Doesn't sound like I'd be very good at it. I'm just trying to find... There we go. I'm trying to hunt down those stakes for the legendaries. They've already announced the compatible Pokemon list and Totodile is not on the list. Yeah, I know. What I mean is the thingy. When there's DLC, they add new compatibility. You know, like how with Sword and Shield. When Isle of Armor and, what the fuck was the other one? The Crown Tundra came out, they added more compatibility. So the compatibility list probably isn't finalized. Unless it's been leaked. But that would be surprising at this stage, because who knows when they're... Like, they might still have the same as last time. Basically a year's worth of extra content. Who knows? By the way, did you know that Alpharad named his Wug Trio as Trildo because of the donation? And Trio's design's kind of off. Well, it looks as much as like that as fucking Doug Trio does. Like a bunch of sausages in the ground. You know? Has USA qualified in the World Cup? I don't know. I'm not from the US.
Gen 2. And in the games at least,
Gen
the shiny
2.
rates at the time were one shiny Pokemon.
Oh, this fucking video. So many people commented being like, Noctowl's not the first shiny. It's Butterfree. Hey, thanks for subbing. Yeah. Butterfree was not the first shiny. It was pink and it was alternately colored, but that is not Butterfree's shiny. A shiny isn't just a differently colored Pokemon. A shiny is a very specific color palette. Kind of like how that island had all those pink Rhyhorns and everything from eating berries. They weren't shiny. Noctowl was the very first game-accurate shiny introduced in the anime. I had so many fucking comments that were just like, no, it's not. No, it was Butterfree. Butterfree's the first shiny. I'm like, that's not the shiny. Excuse me. It was the shiny from Poundland. Bruh. Discount shiny. True. Hey, Jukebox Jim, what's up? Why didn't your Oh, your messages did pop up. I just fucking missed them. What was the first Pokemon? What do you... First, numerically or first chronologically? Or first designed? Which first? It depends on what you're actually asking. First designed is, yeah, Rhydon. First chronologically would be Arceus, like lore-wise. First numerically in the Pokedex is Bulbasaur. And Mew just isn't the first. I don't know why Mew was ever brought up. Mew did not come before Arceus. Oh, fuck. Shiny Lechonk is Peppa Pig? True, though. Why I beat the shit out of them.
In every 8,192 encounters.
Oh,
so
the
who
old
caught
shiny
this
rate.
extremely rare Pokemon? Well, who else but the boy eternally cursed to be a 10-year-old,
True.
Ash Ketchum. Here's a normal Noctowl, and here's Ash's Noctowl. Nowadays, you're twice as
It's also
likely to
smaller
get a shiny Pokemon.
than normal,
Only
I
a
think.
mere 1 in 4,096 chance. You know, I thought
Ash's
Ladybug was
Noctowl is, anyway.
adorable before I looked into its facts. Pokemon fact number 165. Did you know that Ladybug communicates by squirting fluids out of its legs?
Bruh.
Yep. Ladybug gets across its emotions by changing the scent of the fluid that leaks out of its legs.
Fucking same.
Ladybug also hate the cold, so large groups of them will huddle together in the winter to stay warm. So just a big old pile of Ladybug squirting their leg juices on each other, letting the rest know how comfortable they are. Yep. Look, I'm just gonna say,
So like
I
us.
hate Ledian's design so much. Pokemon fact.
I do.
number
I hate
166. Did you know that Ledian is powered by the stars? There seems to be some relationship between Ledian's
I did not beat Ragnarok
energy and
because
the amount of
fucking this
stars
thing
in the
came
sky.
out.
Areas with clean air and
Scarlet and
clear
Violet came out in the
skies
middle
will
of
be
it,
home
but I
to
do still want
countless
to.
Ledian. If there's a lot of stars visible, it will make the patterns on its back grow bigger. So you might think that a four-armed
Hey, Tim, welcome back.
solar-powered creature would be pretty powerful. Well, Pokemon Moon makes sure to tell us that its punches are piddly. So it aims to win through quantity of strikes over quality. If
I just
Pokemon
hate
were real, I
Ledian
just
in
wouldn't
general.
be able to relax. How could I with nearly 2-foot tall spiders on the loose? Pokemon fact number 167. Did you know
Fucking
that
hate spiders.
Spinarak has extremely useful webs? Much like real-life spiders, Spinarak webs are really durable. In fact, fishermen in the Pokemon world weave the
Hey,
webs
Any
into
Games, thanks
fishing
for
nets.
subbing.
Keep in mind the size and power of most fish Pokemon. We're also told that Spinarak webs are so strong you can just toss rocks into them without them breaking. Which
Oh,
is
that's
pretty
right.
concerning, and I don't like spiders as it is. Never mind one that's the size and weight
Spinarak
of a
is just
small
constantly
dog.
glitching
What
in
could
that
you
video because the
realistically do if an
gif of
Ariados
the
was in your
sprite
house?
was fucked
I don't
up.
think it's your house anymore. Pokemon fact number 168. Did you know that Ariados
What do
is
stakes
a
do? I've been
very
playing and have no
impressive
idea.
hunter?
If you
might
get all
think
the
that
stakes in an
Ariados
area,
sits
it
in a well
unlocks
all
the,
day and lets its prey carelessly trap itself.
there's a
Well, it turns out
legendary
it's actually
behind
a lot
like
more
a special
active.
gate.
Ariados becomes very aggressive at night, hunting down prey by spraying webs from its mouth. Once it catches something, it then lets its prey go. That is, after it attaches a string of silk to the poor
Hey,
creature
thanks
that
for the
Ariados
sub,
later
Mohammed.
uses to track it all the way back to its Pokemon friends. Why would I come up with a joke if the fact number can do it for me? Pokemon
True.
fact number 169. Did you know
Hey.
that Crobat is more terrifying than you'd think? So Crobat's kind of known for its ability to fly without stopping. Swapping which sets of
Australians
wings
would
it
just
uses
eat
so it never
Spinarak. I
gets
think you're
tired.
right.
And you know, this would be fine by itself. But in Pokemon Ultra Moon, we're told that if Crobat doesn't feast on blood for even just a short while, it becomes weak and is unable to fly. So the fact this Pokemon's known to fly constantly without
would be
stopping means it's
always
also constantly feasting
feasting
on
on
the blood of
blood.
humans and Pokemon.
Because it's known
Which
to always
Crobat can
fly,
fully
but it
drain
can't
in
fly
a
if it's weak.
heartbeat.
It
We've
gets
got a
weak
new Pokemon
immediately if it
trailer.
stops
Which do you
drinking blood.
prefer, Armarouge or Ceruledge? Pokemon fact
Hey,
number
topical.
170.
I like
Did you know that
Ceruledge.
Chinchou flash each other while having turf wars.
Same.
Chinchou is essentially an anglerfish that lives deep in the ocean, beyond the reach of sunlight. So flashing the lights on its antenna are the only form of communication it has with other Chinchou. And they do flash each other, especially when claiming their respective turf. Chinchou is also known to lure in prey with its antenna lights. And when they get close enough, it shocks them into paralysis. I've also made a full video on the trailer that released today. Maybe you want to pop over,
I
give it
did.
a watch. I don't judge. Oh, get ready for this one. Pokemon fact number
TikTok hates when I
171.
mention my
Did you know
fucking
that
videos.
Lantern's Pokedex entry causes
Shits
a bit
itself
of a
and hides
problem.
the video
People
from
might have
everyone.
heard of this one before, that one of Lantern's Pokedex entries causes some confusion.
No, they flash
which
their
is,
lights
the
at
light
each
it
other.
emits is so bright that it can illuminate the sea's surface from a depth of over 3 miles.
Oh,
so without
yes.
going too far into the physics, that's basically impossible in the real world given how water absorbs light. Lantern would be vaporizing the water with a death ray way before it gets
It would.
to lighting
The energy
surface
output
of
would
the
be
sea
too much.
levels of energy. So what's the explanation for this entry? Well, the best explanation I can think of is one of two things, and neither of them are kids make up the Pokedex.
Yeah.
Explanation one. The
Fuck
same
that.
way we have ghost and psychic Pokemon, it's just magical light. Or explanation two, the fact Lantern's part water type, it just makes a tunnel through the water for the light to go up to the surface, which I suppose is also magic. You know, the only reason I
would be.
dislike Pichu is because it meant that Raichu wasn't gonna get an evolution.
True.
Pokemon fact number 172. Did you know that Pichu has the electrical version of a baby's bladder? Pretty
Oh,
much
that's a
every one of
fucking-
Pichu's Pokedex entries talks about the fact that it can't hold its electric bladder. It did.
Yeah, rest in peace, Gorachu. Also, get the fuck out of here, you bot. By the way, I'm a very new Pokemon player, just starting out with Fire Red on my phone through RetroArch. I beat Brock, next is a Water Gym, I think. That's right, next is Misty. Misty in Cerulean City.
Discharges electricity unintentionally. Its cheeks are too small to store the electricity. It shocks itself. These problems can make Pichu pretty hard to raise, as you'll be accidentally electrocuted by it several times. And when it does release its electricity, it starts crying because it gets scared. You know, at some stage, we deserve a payoff for all the space-based mysteries there are in Pokemon. Pokemon fact number 173.
There are a lot of space-based mystery.
Pokemon with a mysterious link to space. So besides the fact that its silhouette makes it look like a star, Cleffa has a borderline obsession with meteors and shooting stars. Cleffa sightings will increase on nights with meteor showers, where they come together to dance in a circle. They're also often seen in areas that have impact craters. The Pokedex is also sure to mention that Cleffa loves the Pokemon Minior. It's literally a meteor Pokemon. And just so everyone knows, Igglybuff can learn Flamethrower. Pokemon fact number 174. Did you know that Igglybuff is obsessed with
poorly
training
drawn
its
star
singing voice? Left on its own devices, Igglybuff will constantly try to improve its singing.
Minior is a meteorite.
Damaging its vocal cords because they're not fully developed yet.
And if you look at
are encouraged to make
Cleffa's silhouette,
regular breaks.
it's a star.
And even wild Igglybuff go through the effort of making their way to rivers and gargling fresh water to help their throats. Besides the singing, their bodies are also extremely bouncy. If it does start bouncing, it'll be impossible for it to stop itself. Oh, and for some reason, its sweat smells sweet. Comment below whether your team Sprigatito,
for free?
Team White Cocoa, or Team Quack.
Smell that
This
sweat.
will also let me know if my audience is full of furries. Pokemon fact number 175. Did you know that Togepi can share happiness? When a Togepi is treated kindly and it's surrounded by positive emotions of compassion and, yeah, that says pleasure, it'll store up those feelings inside of its shell, where it can then choose to share those feelings with people and Pokemon, presumably forcing them to become happy. Funnily enough, Togepi might be based on a mythological Korean goblin called a Dokkaebi. Anyway, Dokkaebi have been known to use their magic to help people who have been kind to them. Yeah, Togepi's a goblin. Before we get started,
Korean
here's a tip
goblin.
to remember why fairy types are super effective against dragons. In a lot of fairy tales, dragons get murdered. Pokemon fact number 176. Did you know
in
that
fairy
Togetic
tales, dragons
doesn't
die.
eat
That's why fairies win against them. Also, fairies in a lot of folklore, especially Irish mythology, they're allergic. Fairies are like allergic to iron, or they can't be around iron, which is why steel beats fairy. Slowly losing sanity in your TikTok comments about the Pokemon versus 1 billion lions. Oh yeah. Oh, there's a lot. People are insane. But yeah, I would recommend ignoring them. I engage with them a lot because the more comments that people send, the better the video does. So a lot of the time, when I know that someone's being like argumentative in the comments, I'll respond to them because they will send a load more comments, and that pushes me in the algorithm and helps more people see my content. And nothing shows that better than the Steelix video. Because so many people wanted to argue that my content hit like 2.5 million views. It's fucking insane. But good for me.
its wings to fly. So Togetic does flap its wings, but seemingly that's just for show. We learn in Pokemon Silver that it can actually just float in midair without moving its wings.
Right, it hovers.
It suggests that Togetic uses the horrifying power of fairy magic, which, as we all know, has the power to take down dragons, dishonorable things, and martial artists.
Yeah, I don't get the fighting type thing.
Yesterday, but I just have to share my disappointment. No Metroid news. Pokemon fact number 177.
We still don't have the fucking Metroid news. Where's Prime? Where's Prime 4?
Mostly. Natu seems like a normal bird for the most part. You know, it's got the usual. It's young, so it can't fly properly. It pecks at shoots on branches, likes pecking at cactus plants. All the normal bird things. Except for the fact it can leap straight to the top of trees, which is pretty impressive, but not too crazy for Pokemon. The most unnerving thing is that we're told it always seems to be staring at something. And if your eyes meet with Natu's, it'll just stare right back at you intently. I need to try something new. Hey everyone, don't follow me on Twitter. Pokemon fact number 100.
Tried to hit them with the old reverse psychology.
Is said to stand motionless all day because it's terrified. Xatu is known to be able to see the future by looking into the sun. People believe that it doesn't move out of fear of the terrible things it's foreseen in the future. Ultra Moon tells us a little bit more, that while Xatu can see the future, it has no desire to change it. So I don't know if it's worse that the terrible future that Xatu sees might still be the best one possible.
That's
I've got to give big props to someone. This absolute fact to God, Daniel Syed. Thank you for being one hell of a patron. Pokemon facts number 179. Did you know that Mareep's name is an anagram? For anyone who doesn't know, an anagram is a word or phrase.
Oh, that's right. Yeah, Mareep's name is an anagram. Let me check. Oh, fuck, Rockruff. Steelix was the first video I saw. Oh, so well, that would make sense. 2.5 million people have seen that video. RIP Prime 4. Well, Prime 4 is still in development, but I was hoping to get some fucking news on it at least. But we didn't. And that's not good. I think that's all of them. So where's the goddamn cave, huh? Two Natus have a staring contest? They die. No, I have no idea. It doesn't say that they're staring at... Like, they're staring through you. You know what I mean? It looks like they're staring at you, but they're really just staring, like, into the fucking future. And also terrified of what's gonna happen, apparently. How is Fairy not strong against Ghost? I think because, like, fairies and ghosts are pretty on par with each other. You know, like, ghost powers in mythology are probably roughly the same as fairy powers. Like, certain fairies would be, would have control over ghosts, but also certain, ghosts would probably be a lot more difficult to handle than fairies. Kind of like the Banshee. Banshee's a ghost. That's, like, I'd put that pretty powerful on the, ghost list, because... I don't know. You just cause people to die with its scream. I don't think fairies are immune to that. Have you got verified on YouTube yet? No, I haven't. I still need another 3,000 watch hours. I've gotten 1,000 so far. The streams really do help with that on YouTube, and my fact compilation, I hope, will contribute towards it. Because the other one got about 1,200 views, so if this gets... I would love if Compilation 2 got more. That would really help me. Now. I need to find these damn shrine locations. What the hell is it? Ice Rend Shrine. Ah, okay. Now, let me pop the video back on.
Phrase made from jumbling up letters of another word. For example, Santa is an anagram of Satan. Anyway, Mareep is actually an anagram of ampere.
That's
ampere,
right.
Or more normally an amp, is a unit of electrical current. Mareep's name might also be a combination of Mary, as in Mary had a little lamb, and cheap. You guys want to be like Daniel? Become a patron. You know what? Let's turn the comments into a battleground. Which is better, cloth or Kingler. Pokemon fact number
A lot of people,
180.
a surprising amount voted for Claw. I thought Kingler was just gonna crush it because people usually go with the OGs.
Generating and storing huge amounts of electricity that patches of its wool just get destroyed. The pink areas on Flaffy are actually its weird rubbery skin. These areas are said to be safe to be able to touch, as opposed to its wool, which is not just electrically charged, but it can also be fired at you. What does the algorithm have against Mareep? I mean, look at Flaffy compared to poor old Mareep.
Yeah, it's Pokemon so, the algorithm on TikTok is just so fucking inconsistent.
Yes, Ampharos can produce such a strong and intense light. It can be clearly seen from outer space itself, which would definitely explain why in the Pokemon world it's been used as a light source for lighthouses. The Pokédex even tells us that because of the light it produces, you can always tell where an Ampharos is. Because of this, it will usually keep its light off. I guess there's always a bigger fish. Sheep. Giraffe? I still hate that Blossom wasn't native to Alola. Makes no sense to me. Pokemon fact number 182. Did you know that Blossom's flowers change in quality based on the type of gloom it was? You might be thinking, oh, okay, the more colorful and beautiful the gloom, the more impressive the flowers on a Blossom. Nope. We're told in the Pokédex that it's actually based on how smelly the gloom was. Specifically, the stinkier the better. I'll just remind everyone that glooms are so smelly in general that they can cause people to faint from their smell. From over a mile away. Imagine how bad a shiny Blossom would have had to smell. Hey, remember when people thought before Marill was released that it was an evolution of Pikachu called Pika-Blue? Pokemon fact number 183.
I wonder who remembers that
is the only reason it doesn't
Pika-Blue.
While Marill's
Anyone
fur
remember
is
that?
water repellent, the whole reason this blue mouse thing doesn't just drown in streams is because its tail is actually filled with oils that are lighter than water. The oils make the tail act like a life preserver. If Marill
I like Ploff, but Kingler is still one of my favorites. I really like Kingler.
And we'll use it to dive into the dangerous water to hunt for food.
Top 3 gym leaders, in my opinion, is Patty because I like food, Iono because she's like a good friend, and finally the Giga Chad himself, Larry. Larry is a fucking Giga Chad. I like Iono because she's fucking hilarious. I think they got streamers spot on. When she says that, like, oh shit, is that okay to say, or am I being inappropriate?
Exactly what Pokemon it is. By the way, compared
when she says that, that's funny as fuck. Thinking she's gonna get cancelled.
Pokemon that isn't prey, it'll create a special air bubble in the water so the poor drowning Pokemon can breathe. So yeah, this fact didn't even turn morbid for once. Also, thank you to my patrons. You keep things running. Sudowoodo, he's finally done it. He can become a real grass type, all thanks to the Terrastalize feature from the new games. Pokemon fact number 185. Did you know
remember
that
Pika-Blue?
Is
Hell yeah.
loved by the elderly? Yeah, for some reason in the Pokemon world, old people absolutely adore Sudowoodo.
Oh yeah, they fucking love Sudowoodo.
There's an entire magazine dedicated to them, just entirely devoted to Sudowoodo. A big focus of the Sudowoodo community is apparently obsessing over the length and angle of its arms. Each their own, I guess. It's also valued by collectors depending on the size of its pretend leafy green parts. Bigger they are, the more value it has. Hey, tell me about it. Politoed? Oh, no thanks. I'm more of a one toad at a time kind of guy.
Oh, that was
a
stupid
number
joke,
186.
but I liked it.
Did you know that Politoed is a feared ruler? Politoad's status as king is apparently decided based on how long and luxurious the hair on its head is. The longer and more luscious the hair, the more Poliwag and Poliwhirl will obey it. In fact, when Politoad roars, they all cower in fear. Speaking of which, the Pokédex tells us that its cries sound like screams, and that they like to gather on moonlit nights to sing in a large chorus. Male Politoad with deep, menacing voices are also more popular with the opposite sex.
So, Sudowoodo is pretending to be a tree. But that's why, because like if you wanted to hurt a tree, you would use I don't know, fire. You know what I mean? So Sudowoodo tricks predators into using the wrong moves on it. Because why would a predator use water on a grass type? Also, Sudowoodo is basically based on petrified wood, which is a type of fossilized wood. So there is that too. Yeah. Hey, Box.
Looks like Hoppip isn't the only thing that's weak to fire, because Twitch sure was burning down this week.
Oh,
Pokemon
yeah.
fact, number 187. Did you know that Hoppip used to have a very different design? Back in the era of the 1997 Space World demo for Pokemon Gold and Silver, we see a very different version of Hoppip. This version of Hoppip has no arms or legs, and looks an awful
Hello,
lot
Elvin.
more like
Welcome
a black
in.
cat than the Hoppip we ended up with. Speaking of, Hoppip's name in
Hey,
Japanese
what the
is
fuck?
Haneko, which ends up working really well for the beta design because
Which is still
Neko
burning, you're
translates
right.
to root, and it's also a play on the word Neko, meaning cat. It's been nearly 20
Space World
years
Wooper
since
was
Pokemon
great.
Coliseum came out. It's about time that series gets picked up again. Even a remake.
Fucking love Pokemon
fact
Coliseum.
number 188. Did you know that Skiploom gets used as a thermometer? So the Pokedex tells us that Skiploom's flower starts to blossom at 64 degrees Fahrenheit. How much the flower opens depends on the outside temperature. So it
Hello,
was used
Carbon.
as a very archaic thermometer. Thinking about it, it might be hard to check how much the flower actually opens, given the fact that Skiploom likes to float up into the sky to soak up as much sunlight as possible. Hey, here's a nice little reminder if you haven't subscribed to me yet. You like these facts? Give a little subscribe, huh? Pokemon fact number 100.
You gotta respect the hustle, right?
Spreads seed all around the world. Yeah, that's right. Jumpluff is able to utilize the seasonal winds to spread its cotton spores all across the globe. And the Pokedex makes sure to say it's specifically to make more offspring. Not only does Jumpluff spread its seed like this, but it also hitches rides on warm winds to make its way to anywhere it wants in the world.
Anywhere
the only
in
time
the
Jumpluff
world.
ever descends to the ground while it's drifting around is when it encounters cold air. Let me know in the comments if you're an Apom fan or if you're a winner. Because as everyone knows, you can't be both.
True,
Pokemon
though.
fact number 190. Did you know that Apom's real hands are just really clumsy? Over time, Apom relied more and more on its weird hand tail. So eventually, their real hands became nearly useless. Apom nests in treetops where it uses its tail to pick fruits. But more concerningly, Apom searches for prey from the tops of trees. I mean, I didn't even know they hunted. But we are told Apom gets excited and pounces when it spots its favorite food, the Pokemon Bonsweet. New
Yeah,
Pokemon
get
revealed.
Bonsweet.
It's Wiglet. This Pokemon isn't a form of Diglett. It's actually an example of the real-world convergent evolution, which is where two separate species will develop similar features despite...
The, Taka, the, Oh, hey, Ivy. Welcome in. How you doing? Coliseum is the best Pokemon game. You're right, Pikachu fan. Goddamn, Tim. 7 crashes. Jesus Christ. Salt Cure is, I wouldn't say it's broken. It's just extremely fucking good. Most people... See, Steel is such a good defensive type that Salt Cure really fucks them over. It does huge damage against Steel types when Rock normally wouldn't. So, I love Salt Cure. I think it's great. It's definitely not broken because, you know, not all types are Steel. It's about as bad as like getting poisoned or getting stuck in like a fire spin or something. Sorry about the no hug command. Is Galar just the UK flipped over? Yes. Well, roughly. Once you get into like the Crown Tundra, it makes less sense. But yeah, it's absolutely just the UK flipped upside down. The Isle of Armor is not Ireland. At all. Because Ireland is not part of the UK. And we also don't have that type of environment whatsoever. If anything, the Isle of Armor would be like the Isle of Man.
Not being related. Kinda like how most animals developed very similar eyes. Pokemon fact number 191. Did you know that Sunkern is extremely weak? See, Magikarp gets a bit of a bad reputation, and it's usually referred to as the weakest Pokemon, even though for 17 years, Sunkern was actually the Pokemon with the lowest
Sunkern
base stats,
sucked for 17 years.
Base stat total compared to Magikarp's massive 200. But all good things must come to an end. Sunkern's 17-year reign as the weakest Pokemon was finally ended in Generation 7 by the new king, Solo Form Wishy-Washy, boasting a titanic 175 base stat total. If you could pick a plant to turn into a Pokemon, what one would it be? Let me know in the comments.
How dare you?
Fact number 192. Did you know that Sunflora is completely still in the dead of night? And no, this actually...
reminds me more of the Isle of Man. Yeah, exactly. Yeah, I agree, Tim. Really didn't know it was that big. Didn't know what was that big.
Actually isn't anything spooky. Sunflora just can't convert any solar energy without the sun. Even in the daytime, Sunflora is known to rush around in a hectic manner, pursuing the sunlight. So you might be thinking, oh, that's cool. I wonder if the game mechanics reflect that. And they do. Sunflora has the ability Chlorophyll.
Oh, yeah.
It's the thing that makes plants green, and they use it in photosynthesis. So this ability doubles Sunflora's speed in harsh sunlight, which sounds really impressive, until you realize Sunflora's base speed is 30, which, when doubled to 60, is still slower than this bag of literal rubbish. I never realized how cool shiny Yanma was. I mean, check that out, huh? Pokemon fact number 193. Did you know that Yanma would cause massive amounts of property damage? Yanma's known for being
property damage,
fast,
baby.
being able to see 360 degrees, and using these features to quickly and efficiently hunt down its prey. So in real life, it would be pretty cool. But there's another side effect of Yanma's speed, which makes it extremely dangerous. And that's the fact that Yanma flaps its wings so fast, it generates shockwaves. Powerful enough to shatter all the windows in the surrounding area. I'm so excited for Paldean Wooper, or Pooper as people have been calling it. Pokemon fact number 194. Did you know that Wooper should have been a poison type all along? So
it should have been.
Wooper's new form is a poison ground type, as opposed to normal Wooper, who's water ground. But it looks like Wooper's Pokedex entries since 1999 have been telling us it should have been a poison type. Essentially, half of all Wooper's Pokedex entries mention that it covers its skin in a poisonous mucus membrane, and that touching it barehanded will cause shooting pain.
Shiny Yanma is very cool.
Wooper from becoming dehydrated. If you ask me, that sounds a little bit more like a water poison type. I didn't realize that Quagsire was based on a real animal. A giant salamander.
Look at that.
Pokemon fact
Looks
number
like
195.
Quagsire as well.
Did you know that Quagsire is so great that the Pokedex can't even find any dirt on it? So normally these facts go into some pretty horrific or disturbing things about Pokemon, but every single entry on Quagsire shows us that it's truly deserving of looking this lovable. The entries all mention that Quagsire is just carefree, relaxed, and easygoing. Maybe a bit too easygoing, as apparently it constantly hits its head against the hulls of boats and the riverbed. But Quagsire doesn't seem to notice. Even the way Quagsire hunts is the most passive, non-aggressive way you could think of.
Good guy,
it just
Quagsire.
floats along with its mouth open, and if prey happen to swim in there,
just, you know, wander in.
What can you do, right? Things happen. All right, everyone, don't panic. We've reached more evolutions. But
Welcome
don't
back,
worry,
John.
as far as I know, there's no copy passes about these ones.
Oh, bruh.
Right? Pokemon fact
There
number
is.
196.
I knew damn well there was as well, but it made for a good intro.
Solar powered. So if people don't know, Eevee evolves into Espeon if it levels up with max friendship during the day. So there's always been a link between Espeon and the sun. But strangely, it took 18 years after its release for the games to mention any other kind of connection to the sun.
Yeah.
We're told in Pokemon Ultra Moon that psychic powers build up in the gem on its forehead when it bathes in sunlight. I wonder how the competitive scene would change if Espeon had solar power as an ability. It turns out I was wrong about there not being any more copy pasta. Honestly, I should have expected that. Pokemon fact number 197.
God,
Did
I
you know
hate
that
those copy
Umbreon
pasta.
has poisonous sweat? Umbreon's a dark type, which in Pokemon usually means
Yeah,
that
it's
they
like
use
a capybara.
underhanded,
It lives
evil, or
carefree.
dishonorable tactics. So when you hear that it has poisonous sweat, you might think, huh, sounds a bit more like a poison type. Well, when it comes to Umbreon, it doesn't just sweat a bit of poison. It sprays the sweat into its opponent's eyes.
Yeah,
It's
what the
also
fuck,
known to
Umbreon?
attack its opponent's throat. Gamerfest has given me a content creator
Oh, yeah, I
pass.
remember you
So I'm
going
going to
to
be in Dublin
Gamerfest.
at the RDS on the 22nd and 23rd of October. Hey, look, I'm as surprised as you are. Pokemon fact number 198. Did you know that
That was
Murkrow
fun.
is absolutely hated by people? You see, there's a few reasons you might think Murkrow would be hated by people in the Pokemon world. They get into turf wars with Meowths. It lures trainers that chase it into mountain trails so they get lost. And they're even said to steal rings from women. That's right, specifically from women.
Yeah.
But none of these reasons are why it's actually despised. It turns out that Murkrow is just seen as a symbol of bad luck. So because of ominous superstitions, people in the Pokemon world just don't like Murkrow. New Pokemon
don't.
trailer. I'm not much of a Girafarig fan as it is. But what is this mutant? It's 10'6". But then again, it is a giraffe. Pokemon fact number 199. Did you know that
It was a
Slowking is a
mutant.
genius, but with a major drawback? So Slowking's been blessed with enhanced intellect, on par with award-winning scientists. Basically, the poisons from a Shelter's bite have put its brain into maximum overdrive. Slowking is said to research every day to try and solve all the world's mysteries, and that it can also solve any problem presented to it. Well, besides the fact we're told that no one can understand what they're saying, and before I look in the comments, yes, I know about the Pokemon 2000 movie. It's a different canon.
It
also
is.
turns out
It's
that
a
every
fucking
time
different
Slowking
canon.
comes up with a new
People don't
idea,
understand
it
this. The
forgets
games
it.
are different.
I guess it's still a member of the Slowpoke family. Looks like there was extra new Pokemon revealed in the trailer yesterday.
And
Here
now we know what they are.
hidden in the minimap.
Tandemouse?
Also, I've never liked Misdreavus. Pokemon fact number 200. Did you know that Misdreavus is an absolute menace? Yeah, so Misdreavus is a ghost type that stays alive.
I got so many comments due to the fucking pronunciation. And I looked it up. Like, I looked up the way they say it in the anime. And they say it both ways. They say Misdreavus. And they also say Misdreavus. So I chose to pronounce it the same way I say mischievous. Like, ooh, you mischievous little scamp. So I said Misdreavus. And I got so many fucking comments. It's actually Misdreavus? Like, no, it's fucking not. Because they can't even decide. No one knows. But that's not good enough for people. No, it's fucking fine. Because you know what? Every time people complain about something, the video does better. Because there's more comments.
From feeding on people's fear, which leads it to act like an absolute nuisance. The Pokedex says it likes playing mischievous tricks, such as screaming and pulling
Like how
on
people say
people's hair
Arceus?
just to see their reactions. And while it said in early entries
Well, you
that
know,
it feeds
I actually do have an opinion on Arceus. And it's because in Gen 7, the system for Silvally changing its type is the ORKS system. So because it's like 3 letters, the letter OR, the letter K, and the letter S. So when you say them, it's RKS. And because it's directly inspired by kind of like a human-made clone of Arceus, I think that's a direct reference to how we should pronounce Arceus' name. The RKS system would mean it's based on Arceus, not Arceus. You get my logic here? Am I alone in this? But the show is a different canon? Yeah, I know. The show says it both ways. Like, for Misdreavus, the show says it both ways. There's no set way to say Misdreavus. But because it's based on the word mischievous, then I would assume it's mischievous. God damn it, YouTube, fucking breaking their own apps. No, legendaries have actually bred so much that they're just tired, and that's why they don't. They're actually Giga Chads. Now I get it. Yes. Okay. I'm glad people are seeing my logic here.
It's unfair. Pokemon Sun tells us that it's actually consuming people's life energy. Also, here's a bonus. In the original Pokemon Mystery Dungeon, when you talk to Misdreavus, it says, "Would you like me to pull on your hair?" Ooh woo, Oni-chan. What's your favorite form of unknown? Let me know in the comments. Pokemon fact number 201. Did you know that
You're right, John. It won't end there because fucking Pokemon themselves, like the voice actors for the original series, mispronounced several of the fucking Pokemon names. Like several of them. Because no one knew how to say them. So they were pretty much just given the script and told to wing it. So you get this fucking random pronunciations during the series of all the different fucking Pokemon names. So even if a voice actor did say it a certain way, unless the fucking creators themselves came out and said it, I don't see people agreeing. I like unknown or because it's just the start of my fucking name. Simple as that. I also do like the question mark and exclamation point unknowns. Oh, yeah, Taka. I've 100%. I have collected all of them. I was convinced as a kid, like absolutely convinced as a kid that it would cause something to do with Entei. Or that you could, like, spell unknowns out into something. Uwu, Oni-chan. Hello, Milkman.
Unknown are pretty much useless by themselves, but many entries in the Pokedex mention that as soon as there's 2 or more, a strange power is said to emerge. All in all, the name Unknown really does fit because we know next to nothing about them. We know they look like ancient text, but we don't know if the letters came first or they did. Professor Laventon even pointed out that they look like writing from other lands, but apparently nobody took them seriously. Have you ever seen a female Wobbuffet?
That's interesting.
Those lips kind of got me acting up. Pokemon fact number 202.
So Professor Laventon himself said that the unknown looked like writing from other lands. And apparently the scientific community at the time went, "Shut the fuck up, you don't know what you're talking about." Which is weird because, as we know from the events of Legends Arceus, he was fucking right about a lot. And he was there to witness some fucking pretty extreme shit. Stupid bots? Was there bots? Did I miss? Hey, Mardu, thanks for clapping them. Clap those cheeks, Mardu. Arceus was the first game I had a complete living Pokedex, and I had all the unknowns as well. Hell yeah. Now, why would unknown look like English text in a Japanese game? Well, when you think of it from a Japanese game perspective, the English alphabet, well, I guess the, what is it again? I can't remember the fucking proper name of the alphabet. Anyway, fuck it. Our alphabet has got an easy amount of letters to work with. But not only that, it's a good way for the Japanese fans to feel like, oh, look at this strange, weird language. You know what I mean? Like, oh, I wonder what these unknowns spell out. English is also extremely trendy in Japan. So, it's basically like looking at Matrix code. You know what I mean? Like, it's just cool and, like, mysterious. Because most people don't speak, speak. Most people don't know binary. But we still understand that it's saying something when you watch The Matrix. I don't think it's just called the English alphabet because, other ones use them too. Maybe I'm right. Or, not right. Maybe I'm wrong. I thought there was a fucking proper name for it. Damn. Oh, wait. I'm thinking of numbers. Sorry, I was thinking of Arabic numerals. Arabic numerals are what we use. Thank you, Mardu. Absolute king. There are too many Japanese letters in the alphabet? Well, there's 3 Japanese alphabets. So it's more like there's too many fucking alphabets for there to be Japanese symbols. The professor was a real one. He fucking was.
Did you know that Wobbuffet are surprisingly competitive? Wobbuffet's a bit of a strange Pokemon. It never attacks first, and it usually only retaliates after it's been attacked. And it gets weirder when 2 Wobbuffet meet. Some competition happens and it can get pretty
missing
extreme.
a state.
Because they won't attack each other, competing Wobbuffet will instead test each other's endurance. And they do this by seeing which one can last the longest without food, which can of course lead to starvation. Parigaraph's ability Armor Tail stops the use of priority moves. Notice how it doesn't say priority attacks.
Yeah, Hiragana,
If it really
Katakana,
is
and
just
Kanji.
priority moves, using Protect would be useless. Pokemon fact number 203. Did you know that Girafarig's tail is pretty much the only interesting thing about it? Girafarig's tail has a brain of its own, but it's extremely small and isn't used for thinking. Instead, the tail keeps watch behind Girafarig 24 hours a day. A weird little quirk it has is that while Girafarig's main head eats, the tail also makes chewing and swallowing motions.
Oh yeah, that's weird.
It's a bit weird. And I don't know about you, but I prefer Girafarig's original design.
Even while it's not eating itself.
It also works better with its palindrome name. You know, Pineco's type has always bugged me. Pokemon fact number 204.
Bugged.
Did you
Get
know
it?
that Pineco really doesn't like being interrupted?
It should be
so
grass
first off,
bug.
I want to mention the weird way Pineco protects itself. It likes to make its shell thicker by adding layers of tree bark to itself. And the Pokedex tells us that elderly Pineco are ridiculously huge. But anyway, back to why it doesn't like being interrupted.
Big boy Pineco.
Pineco doesn't move a lot. Just kind of sits there glued to trees by its saliva, waiting for prey to just come along. One of its favorites to eat is Cutiefly, by the way. So given the fact it probably doesn't catch food very often, I can see why it'd be angry about getting disturbed while eating. But Pineco takes this very personally, because if you so much as shake the tree it'll drop down to the ground and detonate without warning. There's 10 days until Gamerfest. Let me know in the comments if you're gonna be there, or you know, be square. Pokemon fact number 205. Did you know that Forretress's insides have never been seen? I mean, don't ask me why you'd want to see them, but a good few entries in the Pokedex talk about how no one's been able to see their mysterious innards. In fact, its eyes are the only things you can see peering out of its shell. And Fortress does open its shell when it's catching prey, but it does that so quickly nobody's been able to see what it's hiding. Oh, and forget trying to sneak up on it, because it fires off fragments of its steel shell when anything gets close, like a claymore. Sure, you're thinking, oh, but I'm its trainer. It wouldn't do that to me.
Yeah.
Well, yeah, that would be true. But it turns out that when it comes to Fortress, this is an uncontrollable reflex. We better not get another generation without a Dunsparce evolution.
Hey,
Even
we got one.
got one.
The Dunsparce. I was really hoping these games would have voice acting. It sort of feels like it was supposed to. Yeah, from the very first fucking trailer where they had voice acting over it. It's felt like they should have had it. So I completely agree. Not there. Okay, where now? What is this? What the fuck is this? South from Cortondo. Oh, I see. I think this is the one I'm missing. Yeah, I completely agree about the voice acting. It should have had it. How much money does the game make? God damn. Giraffrig's back mouth is probably like how cows regurgitate their food. Eats from the main head, regurgitates from the back head. See, I thought that too, but it specifically says that it's chewing wild, like, Giraffrig's main head chews. The tail automatically chews as well. So I think it's meant to imply like a weird nervous system, but you could be onto something about the cud chewing. I think that would be cool as well. But I don't know if it's the digestive system. I don't know if it mixes both of them. Dunsparce, but add another duh. I think that's really funny. Oh god, I might lose my YouTube stream. It might go down because of global problems. You know what? So be it. If it does go down, everyone hop on over to Twitch. We did get one, Milkman. We fucking got one. I missed your reaction to the Dunsparce. I really like the Dunsparce. I think it's silly. And Dunsparce is so fucking kind of plain that I like the Dunsparce being just a fucking longer version of itself. John's the MVP. He's watching on multiple platforms. Just wait till they add Mega Evolution back. Oh, fucking imagine. Give the Dunsparce another segment. That would be amazing. Another Evo called the Dunsparce. It does kind of tip the hat to his uselessness. You're right, and I like that. It's very like it's not afraid of making a joke of a Pokemon that already was not useful. Plus, it does give it better stats and allows Dunsparce to use Eviolite. So, you know, bonuses. 12 minutes ago. Huh. You know, thank you, Tim. Thank you for the heads up. That is a help. Now I'll know that it's not me if everything just goes to shit.
Pokemon facts
Milk.
number 206. Did you know that
Hello,
Dunsparce
Milkman.
used to soar through the skies in ancient times?
did.
Nowadays, poor Dunsparce can only hover with its tiny wings. But in Pokemon Sword, we're told that some Poke scientists think that Dunsparce used to be fully capable of flight in the past. Now, what's interesting about
I
this
think we're
is
going to
that
get a
Pokemon
regional
Scarlet and
variant at some
Violet have a
stage
lot
of
of
the
past and future themes. So all I'm saying is it
Dunsparce.
would be a great time to introduce an ancient evolution of Dunsparce.
Yeah.
You know, exactly like Yanmega, Mamoswine, Tangrowth. If Dunsparce did get an evolution, comment below what type you'd like to see it have. I mean, it's about time, right? I swear. The new Pokemon Bellibolt was revealed.
Hey.
It's the gym leader Iono's partner Pokemon. She's a streamer and an influencer, and seems to have annoyed a lot of Pokemon creators, which I find pretty funny. Pokemon facts number 2.
Oh, shit. I dropped my controller. I don't know if anyone else saw this, but Jesus Christ, so many fucking Pokemon creators got so annoyed at the reveal with Iono. I found that funny as fuck. People, I don't get why it was so bad. I thought that the jokes and the references to streamers and clickbait and stuff is funny because it's fucking true. It's not a bad thing. You know, it just is a thing. There is clickbait. And she's like, every time she'd just like turn away and go, oh, hell yeah, my numbers are going to be fucking huge after this. I thought that was great. People got so salty about it. They're like, oh my god, this is a fucking terrible, terrible reveal. I'm like, they could have just done a 24-hour forest stream again, where you get nothing. You might see a little bit of, what is it, Galarian Ponyta and Impidimp. That was dog shit. This was fun and took effort. I thought it was great. Iono is away. Pokemon got back at most cringy Poketubers. I completely agree, and I think it's funny. And it's not mean-spirited. Because it's true. She's adorable, though. 10 out of 10 would be your friend. I agree. Iono is probably one of my favorite gym leaders other than Larry. Oh, shit. Cut. Is that a sword? A broken sword in its mouth? I didn't save. Well, I have a quick ball.
$207. Did you know that Gligar is a little demon? So it's a flying scorpion.
Gligar is a little demon.
But the way Gligar
Holy shit, that's a lot
is
of damage.
horrifying. I'll try paint a bit of a picture. So you're getting home late, it's dark, it's the Pokemon world, so you're already probably terrified that you're about to be murdered by any one of the hundreds of mythical creatures.
Yeah,
But
I didn't
all of a
save.
sudden,
Fuck.
and without a sound, you've got a scorpion monster grasping on your head, stabbing you in the face repeatedly with a poison barb. So to break that down a bit, Gligar is known to be completely silent when it flies, which benefits it greatly for sneak attacks, where it goes out of its way to target its enemy's face. It uses those pincers to clamp down, so it can inject their foes with poison from their massive stinger. And remember, it also evolves. Hey, show this to all the people who think that a billion lions would beat all the Pokemon.
Oh,
Pokemon
man,
fact
here's
number
the video.
208. Did you know that Steelix is all
2.5 million views.
1 billion lions? So let's go through all the reasons why Steelix would win. Steelix lives at a depth of about 1 kilometer, or 0.6 of a mile, underground. So no amount of dogpiling, or I guess lion piling, is going to crush or impede a Steelix, especially considering that it can see in the dark and chew its way through boulders as it tunnels. So you can be pretty sure its insides are just as durable. Due to being tempered underground, its body is harder than diamond. It could just sit there. The lions would never be able to kill it. And before anyone starts, the game mechanics aren't the rules here. PP and HP aren't involved. This is as if Pokemon were real animals based on their entries. Otherwise, it makes no sense, because going by the game mechanics, a fleet of 1,000 newborn babies could defeat a tank. 1.1.
True. Does Ruination just do half my total health? Oh, it halves my total health. Got it. Pokemon does have the power of God and anime on its side. But Jesus Christ, now, I completely understand that most of the, that there's a ton of the people in the comments just messing. Like, they're just memeing. Like, haha, a billion's a lot, Lamau. And that's fine. But the amount of people who were genuinely like, no, and getting really annoyed about it was fucking insane. People started, like, just insulting each other in the comments over pretend fucking hypothetical shit. Like, don't get me wrong. It's fun to, like, hypothetically think about it. That's the whole reason I made the video. Was to reference that. But there was people being like, it couldn't possibly survive that many lions because think about the weight of the lions. I'm like, what are you talking about? The lions can't stand on each other. People were like, oh yeah, just fucking ignore me. Make it all about your argument. And I'm like, what the fuck? It's crazy. But, again, 2.5 million views.
Million views in a day, and people wonder why I bring up the lion debate.
Yeah.
Pokemon fact number 209. Did you know that Snubbull is all bark, no bite? Snubbull might look scary and intimidating, but the Pokedex lets us know that it's actually kind, caring, and a little bit playful, as well as a little cowardly. Its growls make people uneasy, and its face sends small Pokemon scurrying away in terror. But Snubbull always seems a little sad when Pokemon run away.
It
To make that even sadder, Pokemon Ultra Moon tells us that when it plays with other puppy Pokemon, it can end up getting bullied, which is probably part of the reason why Granbull is actually known to be even more timid than Snubbull. You know, looking at Granbull's stats, you could double its speed, and it would probably still not get used. Pokemon fact number 210.
It's true, unfortunately.
Did you know that Granbull usually avoids conflict? A lot like its previous
hey, Ivy.
evolution,
Snubble's your baby.
Granbull is,
fair.
You know,
good
a
baby.
little bit of a coward. But don't get it twisted, it's still got some major weaponry. Its lower jaw and fangs are so large, it needs to keep its head tilted back for balance. Still, Granbull is very easily spooked and doesn't really care for disputes, so they rarely get a chance to show just how strong they
Justice
really
for
are.
Snubbull.
If a Granbull does become enraged, it'll strike indiscriminately with its huge fangs, which should scare you because it can use pretty much any biting move
We're
you
in
can
a
think
little
of.
bit of trouble
Crunch,
here.
Ice Fang, Thunder Fang, Fire Fang. If only it had the ability Strong Jaw, or just better stats. In Pokemon Mystery Dungeon, when Quillfish is hurt, it says, "I'm sagging. I can't even inflate myself anymore."
Bruh.
Same here. Pokemon fact number
Hey, we got it.
211. Did you know that Quillfish is a really bad swimmer? Yeah, so you'd think a literal fish Pokemon would be good at swimming. But due to Quillfish being so dummy thick, it finds swimming somewhat challenging. Quillfish guzzles down 2.6 gallons of water, which is why it's so plump. So it has the water pressure required to fire out its toxic spines. But it seems like it's not limited to just a measly 2.6 gallons. As we're told in Pokemon Crystal, that when faced with an opponent larger than Quillfish, it swallows up as much water as it can to match the opponent's size. I know this is a bit off topic, but who do you think would win the fight? Elsa from Frozen or Shin Godzilla?
I thought this was funny as fuck. And because in my head I was like, huh, isn't it pretty funny that Shin Godzilla got beaten by like abusing the fact that its blood is used as coolant in its body? So they used a coagulant to freeze it, which is how they won in Shin Godzilla. So I was like, huh. Does that mean... Because Elsa was able to freeze, like, an entire fucking fjord and country in the first movie, does that mean Elsa would be able to defeat Shin Godzilla? Like, people were like, oh, she'd just get blasted. And I'm like, well, yeah. But all of the humans were able to do it. Elsa just sneaks on up to Shin Godzilla, freezes it. Technically, she wins, right? All that I wanted people to admit is that it's not... it's not just a victory for Shin Godzilla. There would be some effort. Or at least Elsa would win sometimes. Also, yeah. Jin Pao? I'm not sure how to say this yet. But, very interesting. Dark ice. Freeze Shin from the inside? Exactly. Like, Elsa has frozen massive fucking bodies of water and then made a castle. I think she could do it. Not every time. It's not going to be easy. But I think she could win. And people were not a fan of that. Fact number 212. Did you know that Scizor is at a constant risk of melting? Pretty funny since it's 4 times weak to fire. But heat truly is Scizor's greatest weakness. You might think those wings are used for zipping around at high speeds, but they're actually used to constantly regulate its body temperature. Because according to Pokemon Sun, Scizor's metal body would become too hot and melt in the heat of battle. So knowing this, it would be pretty irresponsible to somehow, I don't know, increase the amount of energy and heat produced by its body. This one's gonna be a mouthful. Pokemon fact. Yeah, the overheating and melting thing was already a problem for Scizor. So introducing Mega Evolution essentially guarantees you're going to have your Pokemon die. I wonder why they went with Chinese names for the pseudos. I have not looked into them yet. Or wait, they're not even pseudos. Aren't they outright legendaries? What about 1 billion Elsas versus one of every Pokemon? Ooh. I still feel the Pokemon would win because there's a lot of Pokemon that just genuinely outclass Ice Formation as a power. Like Dialga, Palkia, the Creation Trio are the main ones, and Arceus. I didn't even bring those up because it's obvious that a god-like being would win against a bunch of lions. Never mind Elsa. Why would they have something in China for a game based in Portugal and Spain? Well, keep in mind that the names might be a reference to a Chinese myth. I haven't looked into it yet, so I don't know. But that doesn't necessarily mean that it has to be Chinese related. Because, like, there was tons of shit in Sword and Shield that wasn't from the UK. You know? They rarely like they don't make it a rule that everything from that region has to be based on the location. Like there's no desert in Manhattan. There's no pyramid ruins in Manhattan. Or if there is, I just haven't heard about them. But, like, Unova has tons of shit that relates in no way to, New York and Manhattan. Or just the US in general. Like, it has the Musketeers. And I'm pretty sure the Musketeers were French. So you'd think they'd be in Kalos. And yes, the fire Pokemon would melt everything.
Fact number 213. Did you know that Shuckle can deal the most damage out of any Pokemon?
Oh, don't fuckle with Shuckle.
Shuckle has some of the lowest offensive stats we've ever seen. But if you go through a bit of setup, it deals the most damage of all Pokemon. It involves using a Shuckle from Gen 3, transferring it to Gen 6, leveling it up to level 100, being in a triple battle, have it hold a metronome, boosting its attack with multiple different moves, using power tricks, skill swapping its ability to pure power, converting it to ice type, having 2 partners with the ability Flower Gift. While the weather is sunny, have it no mimic so it can use Ice Ball, and you need to have it land 4 times in a row to build the move's power, and on the 5th attack you have to hit a level 1 Wybat with minimum debuff defenses that's also under the effects of Forest's Curse, which ends up dealing 721,899,685 damage as a critical hit. The setup for this is so convoluted, I've probably missed something. Everyone remember when Heracross used to constantly suck on Bulbasaur?
Oh, he used to suck all the time.
Freaks. Pokemon fact number 214. Did you know that Heracross could effortlessly throw an elephant? Heracross, besides of course being one of the best Pokemon, is also incredibly strong. A few entries mention that this blue beetle can lift 100 times its own weight.
That's
hardly
insane.
Any effort at all. So throwing around a real-world elephant
like
would be a
creature
pretty
of that
simple
size
task. Never mind the fact
with that
that
much
if Heracross
proportionate
Mega
strength
evolves,
is fucking
it can
insane.
then lift 500 times its own weight. And unlike most Mega Evolutions, it's not in constant writhing agony. The worst thing that happens to Heracross is it just has some sore muscles when it's done. Why are you looking at me like that, huh? What, are you expecting a fact? Fact, Chan. Pokemon fact number 215. Did you know that Sneasels and Alola can shatter their claws? Sneasel's an extremely cunning, but absolutely brutal Pokemon. It steals Pokemon eggs, and is on record for being so vicious that it will not stop attacking its foe until it's incapable of moving. In Alola, they're equally as violent.
So aggressive.
And in Ultramoon, we're told that they
Needlessly
will attack
aggressive.
Alolan Sandshrews. So it might be a bit of karma that these Sandshrews have such good defensive armor that Sneasel's claws tend to snap right off. I imagine most of you know what happens in nature when an animal loses its main way of defending itself, right?
Spoiler,
It's
it
like
dies.
this one that make me question the intentions behind some of these entries. Pokemon fact number 216. Did you know that Teddiursa paws all taste unique? So for some reason in Gen 4, the Pokedex tells us this interesting little tidbit about Teddiursa. It lets honey soak into its paws so it can lick them all the time. Oh, and every set of paws tastes unique. Now, I don't know about you, but I've got a question. What was the process for testing this? And actually, who was the first person in the Pokemon world to not only go, hey, give me a suck of that bear paw, huh? But to then also go, hey, give me a suck of another paw. Different bear this time. What's up, gamers? It's me, man in his late 20s who makes Pokemon videos.
Hell
and it's
yeah.
time for another one. Pokemon fact number 217. Did you know that Ursaring would make the ultimate sniffer dog? Bear. Well, it's not crazy that a bear Pokemon happens to have a good sense of smell. What is interesting about it is that we're told that Ursaring has the ability to distinguish any aroma. So why does that matter?
Aroma?
Well, besides being able to instantly recognize anything in the vicinity by smell alone, there would also be no way
Thank you
to
for
throw an
subbing,
Ursaring
Pikachu
off of your
Plays.
scent. Like if someone was trying to hunt you down, or let's say not subscribing to me. Just bringing that up as a crazy example. You know, there's no reason or anything. Also, I hope people like the
I'm
way
not
I
gonna
have
hunt
the
anyone
Patreon
down.
credits now. Instead of just scrolling them up the middle of the screen, I decided to actually put some effort in.
Hey, I put some effort in.
Reveal.
Oh,
No
Ivy,
idea
thank you
what
for the
it's called, but it's a
thank you for the
ghost
bits.
dog, and it seems to drain your life if you play with it. Hey, look, I know that feeling. Pokemon fact number 218. Did you know that Slugma has to keep moving
Slugma
or
nuts?
it faints? So Slugma doesn't have any blood in its circulatory system. It just has liquid hot magma. This gets pumped around Slugma's body, keeping it alive, so long as it keeps moving. If Slugma decides to stop, its skin will immediately start to cool. If it stayed still long enough, it would likely never move again, which would be a shame because then it couldn't evolve. Speaking of which, tomorrow we're gonna have Macargo, And boy, do we have a lot to talk about when it comes to Magcargo.
Oh, yes.
This video will probably get 2 reactions. 1, a pitchfork-wielding mob in the comments. Or 2, normal people. Pokemon fact number 219. Did you know that Magcargo isn't as hot as you think? Now just hold on, let me clarify. The Pokédex specifically says that 18,000 degrees is Magcargo's body temperature.
Yes, body.
Not necessarily its surface temperature. And I think that allows for another factor to be involved. Thermal transmittance. That's the rate at which heat will transfer through a material, usually represented with a U value. Essentially, the better a material is at stopping heat from escaping, the higher the U value. So whatever fictional material makes up Magcargo's body has such a high U value that it insulates most of the intense heat. This would explain why it can have such a high internal temperature of 18,000 degrees, and why it likely has a surface temperature closer to a much more manageable 2,200 degrees. So Legends Arceus gave us a Pokemon game set roughly in the mid.
Oh yeah, Bulbasaur was the perfect size for Heracross to suckle. Isn't that impossible though, as they're weak as fuck for Sneasel? What do you mean? What's weak as fuck? Ursaring during Arceus shows its potential. Massive potential. Ursaluna's a monster. Magcargo is horror? That's the thing, though. Everyone... can I still boil water with Magcargo for my cup ramen? Absolutely. Magcargo would still be so many weaknesses and low defenses? What do you mean? Sneasel? Well, there's a very big difference between the game's lore and the stats and balances for gameplay. Like, the game has to be playable, but in the lore of the series, Sneasel is an extremely violent predator that would likely hunt things such as, like, I don't know, Patrat and fucking, you know, Bidoof and shit. It also absolutely tries to hunt Alolan Sandshrews, but they seem to have the defenses to be able to fight it off. Yeah, you can boil cup ramen with Magcargo. The thing about Magcargo is it's small enough that it could still be the temperature of lava. And you wouldn't really... You could get pretty close to it without getting fucked up. You know, like a blacksmith at a forge. You'd probably have to... If you're getting really close, you might have to wear some protective gear. But you could absolutely still use it as your Pokemon. It wouldn't be able to output that much. Like, it wouldn't be able to heat the air around it a lot because it's so small. Especially because its surface temperature likely isn't anywhere near its body temperature. Think of Magcargo like a little planet where it has an extremely hot core. But its surface temperature is fine, because it's cooled. It's like, you can see that its shell isn't molten, which means its surface area, or its surface temperature has to be lower than the amount it says in the Pokédex. But its internal body temperature could still be that high. Do you prefer normal Sneasel or Hisuian Sneasel? I don't like either. I'm not a big Sneasel fan. So, I don't know, maybe Hisuian. I don't like Sneasel. But, yeah. Never been a fan of its designs. Core temp is higher than surface. Exactly. That's why I think it works. Its core temperature would be a lot higher than its surface temperature. Why does Miraidon look like a penis? because it's a crotch rocket.
Meiji Restoration period. What time in history would you like to see a Pokemon game set in? Personally, I'd like to see Unova set in the Wild West. Pokemon fact,
People did not understand what I meant by this. They kept going, oh, Unova's based in Unova is pretty much New York. Why would it be the Wild West? And I very clearly meant like a fucking cowboy theme. Like 1800s cowboy theme. Like that kind of era. And so many people are like, it's not the West. I don't give a shit. Everyone should understand what I meant by that. Like a Wild West theme. No one goes, oh, then we should start migrating to the West. No, it's a theme.
220. Did you know that Swinub can uncover hot springs by smell alone? Now, when I read this, I was extremely confused. Swinub can root out mushrooms, berries, and even hot springs by using its sense of smell. Now, the mushrooms and berries, sure, they make sense, but hot springs?
Stinky.
So it's probably because I'm from Ireland, but we don't have hot springs here. So
True.
I didn't know that they usually contain sulfur. Which, after more research, I learned that apparently sulfur smells like eggy farts. I'll have to check that out when I move to Japan at the end of the year. Conveniently, not only the home of Pokemon, but also world-famous hot springs. Turns out I've been saying Piloswine wrong all these years.
Yeah,
I've been saying Piloswine, which I'm just now realizing
Pillow
sounds more
swine.
like a kink. Pokemon fact number 221.
Does sound like a king.
Did you know that Piloswine
I'd like a Pokemon based on Southeast Asia.
So I had
I'd love to see more variants
on our piggy
on locations.
here are actually made.
Like, I'm worried that because they did because they did Galar, that they won't do Ireland. Because like, Ireland's fairly small to be fair. How did I miss this one? Right at the start of the fucking game. But Southeast Asia would be cool too.
Out of pure ice. I suppose I just assumed it was ivory. It never even registered with me, which is weird because over the years we've gotten quite a few entries where the Pokedex tells us that not only are
they should have made Ireland DLC. I would have liked that. Instead, we got Isle of Man and more pretend Scotland. Because it wasn't even like Scotland. It was like fucking kind of like Norway nearly.
Which probably
just really
should have just
icy.
been called permafrost. If anyone knows what inspired this fact, then please let me know. Pokemon fact number 222. Did you know that Corsola promotes childbirth? So we get a pretty interesting piece of information from Pokemon Sword. Those coral branches from Corsola's head break off sometimes, and particularly beautiful pieces of coral are kept and are worn as charms to promote safe childbirth. Now, I tried to look up a correlation between coral and childbirth, but I couldn't seem to find one. So let me know if this is referencing something from the real world, like a superstition or a ritual from somewhere, because I don't know what it could be. Also, hello, that Shun. Told you I'd put you in the video. A lot of people seem
that Shun, you're in the video.
Remoraid, a fish, evolves into Octillery, an octopus. Well, let me try to explain.
Hello,
Pokemon fact
that
number
Shun.
223. Did you know that Remoraid
I told
is
you I'd
known
put
as
you in the video.
Sniper of the seas? Yes, so Remoraid can blast jets of water out of its mouth like a sniper rifle. It can pull off sweet MLG no-scopes from up to 300 feet away, taking down flying prey and shooting Burmese out of trees. And this is the key to solving the confusion around why a fish evolves into an octopus. The evolution isn't focused on the animal part. It's actually showing a water gun turning into a water cannon. Or, I guess, bazooka. They just happen to choose unrelated sea creatures. Octillery has an instinct to bury itself inside of holes. Same. Pokemon fact number 224. Did you know that Octillery used to look a lot more like a tank? Back in the 1997 Space World demo, we were able to see a much more military-style
Space World
artillery,
demo.
sporting what looks like a helmet and armor plating. Obviously, they haven't stuck with the design, but it seems like artillery wasn't done serving in the line of duty. Because in Galar, artillery is the fire brigade mascot. And you know what? The design looks eerily similar to that.
I think the design looks fucking the same. I think they've done that intentionally. I felt like no one really commented on that. I thought that was fucking amazing. When I was looking into artillery, I was like, holy shit, they just remade it. Even the buttons on his outfit look the same as the kind of the bumps on the tank body. And obviously the helmet, but I was so fucking surprised. I thought that was great. Yeah, what am I... Blah, blah, blah. The color pink has something to do with childbirth? I have no idea. I honestly don't know why. I can't find a specific reason. For the, like, wearing coral to promote childbirth. Is Brave Bird based off of Kamikaze? I have no idea. I don't know what its name is in Japanese. Artillery with armor plating, probably using shelter shells, would look awesome. Yeah, I completely agree. A mega or another, like another form, a cool form of artillery would be really cool. Water steel. Grass starters always go first in the decks. Well, yeah. They do.
That Space World demo. Also, there's been a massive achievement for the channel.
Using shelter shells.
Followers.
Yes.
In fact,
that's
YouTube's
cool as
coming
fuck.
up on 6.9 thousand subscribers, so doubly nice. Look, I know that Delibird makes more sense than Delibird, but I just prefer saying Delibird.
Delibird.
Fact number 225. Did you know that Delibird's present sack is actually its tail? We learned this from the Pokedex, when we're told that Delibird stores a bunch of food in its sack-like tail, and it doesn't mind sharing that food with people and Pokemon. The Pokedex even mentions someone making it to the top of Mount Everest after receiving help from a Delibird. They later changed the entry to say the peak of the world's highest mountain.
Hey,
but,
Toxie.
you know, it's still cool, right? Look, up in the sky. Is it a bird?
What?
Is it a plane? No, it's just Mantine. Pokemon fact number 226. Did you know that Mantine is commonly mistaken for a bird? Good old Professor Laventon tells us in Legends Arceus that Mantine is often misidentified as a bird Pokemon. How? Well, it turns out that not only does it gracefully swim in the seas, but Mantine can build up so much speed it flies out of the water and can glide for over 300 feet. I mean, you've got to explain why it's water flying somehow, right? Also, we're about 16 days from the release of Pokemon Scarlet and Violet.
Hey,
so
it's already
I'm
out.
going to do a full 24-hour live stream.
I lost
released
all
on
the footage.
18th of November at 11 a.m. GMT. I got my visa for Japan today.
I
So at the
fucking
beginning
did
of
get my
next year,
visa
you're
then.
all going to be seeing a lot more weeb content. Pokemon fact
Weeb
number 227. Did you know that Skarmory chicks live in constant torture to become strong? So Skarmories like to make their nests in bramble bushes, which doesn't really bother them because of their hard metal feathers. But baby Skarmory aren't born like that. Instead, the wings of Skarmory chicks become harder over time as they're constantly scratched by thorns. So with all of this brutal information, you could say that Skarmory is a pretty metal Pokemon. I'm trying to lose weight, and there's nothing like telling several thousand people online to make me feel like I have to stick to it. Right now, I'm 227 pounds.
I think I'm about
I'm
215
slightly
now.
heavier than Rampardos, a dinosaur made out of rocks. Pokemon fact number 228.
Not much European people in Japan? Well, yeah.
Even native to Johto. So yeah, Houndour being
There's even
a
less
Gen 2
Irish
Pokemon
people.
should probably be found in Johto, but it was actually found in Kanto in the Gold, Silver, and Crystal games.
Oh,
given
yeah.
that Houndour isn't present in Kanto and Gen 1.
Not native to
assume that
Johto.
one of the other regions besides Kanto and Johto are where it's truly from. Maybe one day we'll get a regional variant of the original Houndour. Or maybe it was just bad planning.
24-hour Pokemon Violet.
This got no
live
views
stream,
because I think people thought it was a
November
fucking
18, 11
ad or
a.m.
some shit.
GMT.
I thought it was
Pokemon
funny.
fact number 229. Did you know that Houndoom seems more like a poison type than a dark type? This is probably related to the fact that the dark type was newly introduced in Generation 2 and possibly changed a lot of Pokemon from poison to dark types, like Umbreon. Houndoom's entries almost entirely focus on the toxins and poisons in its body. Houndoom mixes its flames with poisons to produce a flame that, if it hits you, hurts forever. Also, I'm going live now, playing New Game plus God of War.
Oh,
I'm
yeah.
getting more used to streaming for my big Pokemon stream. So for some reason, Houndoom didn't get a lot
And
of
now I'm
views.
streaming
Care
just
to
in general.
explain
Woohoo!
Algorithm? Yeah, didn't think so. Pokemon fact number 230. Did you know that Kingdra creates whirlpools by yawning? So based on the Pokedex entries, Kingdra is a horrifyingly powerful creature,
It is, it
controlling the
really fucking
elements
is.
themselves through completely mundane things. Kingdra not only creates whirlpools when it yawns, but also just whenever it moves. When it wakes up, it also generates tornadoes. Oh, and we're also told that if Kingdra ever meets a Dragonite, a fierce battle ensues.
This
So I
is
guess
interesting
for some reason
'cause-
there's big beef between Kingdras and Dragonites. Also, be sure to join my Discord if you want to be involved in some community game nights.
Oh, thank you for reminding me. If anyone does want to join the Discord, I'll pop the link in the chat. God of War is fun. So there it is in the YouTube chat, and I'll just pop it into the Twitch one now as well. There we go. But yeah, I found it really interesting that so Dragonite is normally an extremely wholesome Pokemon in its Pokedex entries. And then that's the first time you hear that, oh, when they see each other, they just get the shit beaten out of them. I have to be technical, a tornado can't be one unless it's over land. Otherwise, it's classified as a water spout. So the move water spout is actually a water tornado. Hey, blame the words in the Pokedex. Because that's usually what I go by. But yes, you would be correct about that. Blame the localization team.
Would you rather eat a Chansey egg or drink some Miltank milk?
give me that
Comment
milk.
below and try not to get too weird with it. Pokemon fact number 231. Did you know that Vampy could send
fuck
you
is-
flying?
I haven't seen this
standing
one
at
yet.
about 1 foot tall and weighing in at 73.9 pounds. This little baby elephant thing is strong enough to carry an adult human on its back. That's an incredible
egg.
amount of strength. Vampy swings
I like
its
the egg
snout
and the
around
milk.
playfully, but because of its power, that becomes extremely dangerous. Like a bodybuilder swinging around a baseball bat made out of meat. Also, 18th of November, 24-hour Pokemon Violet live stream. Be there or be busy, probably. Are you a fan of Donphan? It took me way too long to think of this intro. Pokemon fact number
It did.
232. Did you know that
Way too long.
Donphan could destroy your house? So yeah, Donphan's an absolute monster in terms
Scary.
of physical strength. Being
It's Gary
able
the
to pull a
snail.
dump truck. They're fans of curling up into balls and tackling things. Kinda like Sonic. Donphan's
Oh,
hide
defeat
is
for
rock
free,
hard,
though.
and ordinary attacks won't leave a scratch. So it's pretty frightening that the Pokedex tells us that a Donphan just using
Right? It feels like it was
tackle
fucking
is enough
ages
to
ago.
blow apart a house. Good thing they seem to be pretty good-natured. Instead of destroying houses, they'll usually use their strength to help clear rocks and mudslides that block mountain trails. Porygon 2 has never appeared in the anime, likely because of the incident.
It should've.
All I have to say is justice for Porygon. Pokemon fact
Justice
number
for Porygon,
233.
motherfuckers, come on.
Did you know that Porygon
We need that
2
justice.
was created for interstellar exploration? Porygon 2 was created by humans as an upgrade for Porygon. It was intended to work in space and even explore other planets. Also, eat your heart out, Skynet, because it even has artificial intelligence that lets it learn new gestures and emotions by itself.
Yeah, eat your heart out, Skynet. Yeah, there's just a fucking hop hip. Just in its back. I hate Pikachu for this. I never responded to your Lugia comment back to me. I agree with you on your opinion. I can't remember what the comment was. The legendary hop hip. I'm trying to get it. I just keep hitting this other fucking Pokemon in the way. Oh my god. Yeah, it was all Pikachu's fault.
But ultimately, Porygon 2 is a failure, because even though it won't perish in the vacuum of space, it can't fly, or move around well in zero gravity. So let's all celebrate Porygon 2, the champion of failures. You know, I didn't really expect Stantler to be one of the Pokemon with Eldritch Horror powers.
Yeah, that's right, Eldritch Horror powers. When I read this, I was like, what the fuck? Stantler has like actual mind-breaking powers. Why does it look like a Gastrodon regional form? I mean, it does just look like a snail, but Gastrodon is more of a sea slug.
Did you know that Stantler's antlers distort reality? The Pokedex entries for Stantler let us in on a little secret. Those antlers subtly change the flow of air to create a
true legendary is
space
Hoppip,
where reality
yes.
itself is distorted. Staring into its antlers causes people to lose control of their senses, to the point that they won't be able to stand. Staring at them can also give an odd sensation, as if you're being drawn into the center of the antlers. So, you know, given all this information, how did it ever make sense that Stantler was just a normal type? I feel extremely sick today. So instead of me coming up with the intro, what kind of intro would you do if you were in charge?
God, that was a sick, lazy day.
I'll probably farm ideas from this, but I feel sick, so let's call it even, right? Pokemon fact number 235. Did you know that Smeargle has
Stantler does. It causes distortions. Space-time distortions. It's fucking insane. Its antlers cause reality to warp. Reality can be whatever I want it to be. Oh, this isn't going well. I like how the snow leopards just stanced up. Yeah. Alright, that didn't absorb at least. I'm okay with the whole party dying as long as I fucking catch this thing.
In mood detector. If you had a Smeargle and wanted to know how it was feeling at any given moment, just have a glance at its tail, because depending on the strength of Smeargle's emotions, the intensity of the color on its tail will change. So a bored Smeargle might have a
Yeah, it would have been good if I brought something to
or an
paralyze or
incredibly angry
sleep it,
Smeargle
but I
could be
didn't.
painting with a vivid neon green. Regardless, Smeargle fanatics in the Pokemon world are said to pay big money for certain Smeargle symbols. What's your favorite member of the Hitmon family? Fight it out in the comments. Fighting. Pokemon fact number 236. Did you know that Tyrogue's evolution will change depending on its stats? Tyrogue has one of my favorite evolution methods in the entire games, where depending on whether its attack or defense is higher, it'll evolve into completely different Pokemon.
Hitmonchan, I like Hitmonchan as well.
Tyrogue, it'll evolve into the stretchy-legged Hitmonlee. Higher defense and you'll get piston-punching Hitmonchan. But if your Tyrogue has the perfect balance between offense and defense, completely even attack and defense stats, it'll evolve into the Capoeira Master Hitmontop. Also, be cool. Join my Discord. There'll be community battles and trading for the new games. Do you think that a regional variant of Hitmontop would be a Hitmonbottom? Pokemon fact number
like that joke.
237. Did you know that Hitmontop can spin so fast while fighting that it can bore into the ground?
Yeah, it
yes,
tunnels into the
Hitmontop
ground.
literally fights like a spinning top.
Don't heal.
And that can apparently lead to it digging into the ground like a drill. Speaking of drilling, I'm sorry, but Hitmontop has one of the most innuendo-filled entries I've ever read.
Listen to how
If you become
saucy this
enchanted
is.
by its smooth and elegant dance-like kicks, you may get drilled hard. Also, be
Drilled
sure to check out
hard.
when I go live for 24 hours on the 18th of November. I'm gonna be playing Pokemon Violet like crazy. I really disliked learning the information for this fact, so please watch it to make it worthwhile.
That's right, it is. It's a capoeira martial artist. I said that in the fact. Capoeira master. It also, its standard move, I can't remember what it's called, but I know that it's a capoeira move. The way it's not spinning on its head anymore, but it's kind of like swinging its legs around in a stance.
Pokemon fact number 238. Did you know that Smoochum does a disturbing amount of stuff with its
Bruh.
lips? Smoochum, instead of touching things with its
Smoochum.
hands, will examine things with its lips, which are the most sensitive part of its body. You might think that would lead to a lot of dirt and stuff getting on its mouth. Oh, but don't worry, it diligently licks all the dirt off.
Just loves licking
Smoochum will
that
bait
dirt.
immediately if its face even gets slightly dirty, but if its body gets dirty, it doesn't seem to care. And something I really didn't want to know, but now you'll know too. Smoochum's lips are kept moist by its daily application of tree sap.
Yum,
like a
yum.
weird lip balm. A few facts ago, I mentioned I was trying to lose weight since I weighed the same as a 227-pound big stone dinosaur. Well, now I'm 219 pounds, which is the same
Hell
weight
yeah.
as a Bergmite, another stone-based creature.
I said Bergmite was a stone-based creature because I was thinking about Avalugg from fucking Legends Arceus, which is rock and ice type. Fuck. Also, I do know babies explore things with their mouth. What's disturbing is the constant licking of dirt off of its face. And the fact that it bathes itself, like, incessantly? Immediately. It immediately bathes itself if its face gets dirty, but doesn't give a shit if its body gets dirty. And if its lips get shit on it, it just eats it. And then obviously the lip balm's fucking weird. Like, why mention the weird tree sap lip balm? Babies don't rub tree sap on their lips. Right?
Pokemon fact number 239. Did you know that a Lekid is like a little electric child? Raising an
Oh.
Lekid seems like a full-time job. For example, if you let it touch any metal at all, it'll accidentally discharge all of its built-up electricity. When it hears the
shit.
crash of thunder, a Lekid's mood improves. So it's recommended that you record the sound of thunder and play it whenever a Lekid is feeling down. The Pokedex also mentions that electrical outlets serve as its baby bottle, where it'll suck down electricity. Actually, that's
Yeah.
a pretty big difference between real babies and a Lekid. Maybe don't let your kids feed from electrical outlets. But hey, I'm not a parent. What do I know? Here's a top tip
Bro.
for the current economy. You don't have to worry about paying back your mortgage if you can't get one in the first place. Huh? Modern solutions, right?
all of
Pokemon
this will
fact
kill
number
this thing.
240. Did you know that Magby can suffer from colds? Now, this might be more of a fault with the English language, but yes, Magby can catch colds. When it does, flames will dribble out of its nose and mouth. And watch out if it sneezes, because this little lumpy-headed weirdo can pump out 1,100 degree heat. The flames will be bright yellow if it's a healthy Magby, but if it's sick, the flames will be mixed with billowing black smoke. A good way to help the Magby recover is to just dip it in some magma, like relaxing in a hot spring. So just get access to some magma. You know, that easily available corner store magma. Quick,
Yeah,
comment
easy.
Milky's down below, or Whitney's Miltank will visit you at 3 a.m.
Why would I write this?
Pokemon
Milkies.
fact number 241. Did you know that Miltank has a Pokedex entry that throws some major sass? The entry comes from Gen 7, practically the king of disturbing Pokedex entries. I mean, besides Mega Evolution, that is. In Pokemon Sun, we're told that Miltank's milk is high in calories and packed with nutrients. Therefore, if you drink too much of it, you may wind up
Hey, the
with a
Milkies
body
are at visits.
like Miltank's. I don't know which hits harder, the shade from this entry or Miltank's rollout. You like that? That's a little something for the
Oh,
Gen
begging
2
for the
fans.
Milkies.
Also, tomorrow I'm playing 24
what did you think
hours
of, Tim?
Pokemon Violet, 11 a.m. GMT. Remember when the Pokemon series had a Stoutland heartbreakingly die of old age? Oh, the
I do.
Stoutland isn't relevant to the fact. But the depression from the episode is. Pokemon fact number 242. Did you know that Blissey will hunt you down if you're depressed? So Blissey's fluffy coat of fur helps it.
Well, let's see. Cargo, if it gets the Pokerus, does that mean when it gets sick, its throw up is 50,000 degrees and impossible to clean up? Well, Pokerus makes Pokemon stronger. So it doesn't actually make them sick. It's more like, it's more like midichlorians than whatchamacallits. Than like an actual illness. It's meant to be a symbiotic thing. But, I mean, potentially it could vomit out surface of the sun level heat. But given the fact that it would be made of that substance, I think that it would immediately solidify. Or maybe it wouldn't, I don't know. If it, well, because it uses that, we can assume that that the temperature of its flamethrower is extremely high. But I don't think it would be the same temperature as its very core. Because if it did release that amount of energy, I think its body would cool significantly and it would die. Much like Slugma having to keep running around to stay alive. Blissey will hunt you down and give it its egg. Oh, shit. Oh, no, we're still good. Blissey will hunt you down and give it its egg. Meanwhile, Hatterene will hunt you down and shut you down if you're depressed. That's right, it'll beat your ass.
Detect sadness, and if it does sense any sadness, it'll rush over to the person, however far they may be, to give them one of its eggs. Now this however far they may be line implies that Blissey would hunt you down from anywhere in the world, like an omniscient Danny DeVito. So quite a few choices for depressed people in the Pokemon world. You could be healed by a Blissey or hunted down by a Haunter, and let's not forget Hatterene in 616 episodes. By the way, right now I'm in the middle of playing Pokemon
Feed
Violet
died
for
on YouTube?
24
God
hours.
damn it, fucking
I'd be
YouTube.
about
Jesus
8
Christ.
hours in at this point. You can always ask
Ad
in
for
the
11
comments what
seconds?
platform it's on.
Bruh. They be fucking nasty like that. Hello, Fi. How you doing? Oof, ruination. Hello, I'm like goddamn fucking YouTube shitting on my stream. Well, thanks for popping over to Twitch. I did pause it.
I finished my big 24-hour Pokemon Violet event, and after I was done, the video didn't save. So that's 24 hours of footage that's just completely gone. Pokemon fact number 243. Did you know that Raikou was basically created by Ho-Oh? Now, a lot of Pokemon fans might already know this, but still, in the past, the Brass Tower in Johto was struck by lightning and was set on fire until rain put it out. 3 unnamed Pokemon died in this fire, and then Ho-Oh turned up, revived them, and they became Raikou, Entei, and Suicune. What people like to debate about is, what were the 3 Pokemon that perished in the first place? Were they still just Raikou, Entei, and Suicune, or were they something else? Like, let's say, a Jolteon, Flareon, and Vaporeon? Entei? More like Entei. Pokemon fact number 244. Did you know that Entei would cause constant volcanic eruptions? So this is probably another reason why the lions wouldn't stand a goddamn chance. But yeah, it said whenever Entei barks, it causes a volcano to erupt. Now, depending on whether that means existing volcanoes or new volcanoes, we get an interesting situation. Entei are also said to be born when a new volcano appears. So potentially we end up with a feedback loop from hell. Entei barks, a new volcano emerges. So a new Entei is born. Now both Enteis bark. 2 volcanoes emerge.
Feedback
There's 4
loop.
Enteis now. They bark and so on. If we start with 1 Entei and we repeat this process just 30 times, well, before anything else, the Earth would be inhospitable, but we would also have slightly more than 1 billion Entei.
Then
And
they
if anyone
win
needs
by
any of the new
default against the
starters,
lion.
hop in while I'm playing Violet and I can probably...
Because 1 billion is a lot. Also, with the herbs, you don't need the salty. You can mix and match them. I posted in the Discord the actual sandwich ingredients for the for shiny hunting, where you don't need to bank on getting fucking hundreds of salty Herba Mysticas. Entei Daddy? Bruh? Entei?
probably trade you whatever you need. Pokemon fact number 245. Did you know that Suicune would be the most useful of the 3 legendary beasts? Well, to be fair, if you called Volcanic Armageddon useful, you'd probably pick Entei. But Suicune has an invaluable ability. Suicune has the power to instantly purify water. Doesn't matter how filthy, dirty, or oil-filled the water is, Suicune would turn it into perfect, clean water. And honestly, that's probably needed. With the amount of Pokemon like Muck, Grimer, Garbodor, Suicune is probably the one saving grace, sporadically purifying water reserves across the Pokemon world. Is anyone else getting absolutely...
Flip what? It does have that combo, you're right. Come on, just give me... The Nest Ball would be so good thematically on this fucking Wo Chien. The Nest Ball matches it in, like, perfectly. Suicune bathwater? Hell yeah. Get that Gamer Boy bathwater. That's what I'll be selling soon. Gamer Boy.
He's stomped in these Terra Raid battles. I've never struggled so hard against a goddamn Greedent. Oh, I mean, except for that one time. Pokemon fact number 246. Did you know that Larvitar has to eat a mountain worth of soil to evolve? Now, I think people sleep on how incredibly insane this entry is, and probably stands to tell you how rare a Tyranitar or even a Pupitar would be in the Pokemon world. But for Larvitar to eat a mountain's worth of soil, forgetting about the physical logistics of it, that would easily be billions of pounds of soil, and the Pokedex specifies a large mountain. If we even entertain the fact that Larvitar might have to eat something the size of, say, Mount Everest, that would mean it needs to eat around 350 trillion pounds of soil. Would people be interested in some shiny Pokemon?
Yeah, that'd be fucking insane. Oh, the quarter of Russia. I don't know how much dirt it weighs. Like Russia's dirt. But probably. No. Whoa, Chien, please. Take it easy, buddy. Hello, Dragon Ball Flan. Hello, Jason Kills. No, I don't know the values of Pokemon cards offhand. We don't talk about Squovid anymore. Bruh.
Giveaways? If
Yeah,
so, you
Greedon.
can let me know in the comments.
That bastard.
Pokemon fact number 247. Did you know that Pupitar is easily one of the most powerful Pokemon? I didn't realize Pupitar was as powerful as it is. For example, it's filled with so much energy, it just can't sit still. So it ejects compressed gas.
Did I miss something? Holy shit. Oh! Sergeant Dexter, raiding party of 1. Thank you! Tim. Thanks for that, Tim. Yeah, that's it. Look at those. Sheesh, you got some solid fucking emotes there. Let's fucking go. Thanks for that. Thanks for that, Tim.
To launch itself around like
yes,
a
Greedon
rocket,
is in
which becomes
Guantanamo
pretty
now.
Intimidating when you consider it's as hard as bedrock. Rest in peace, Steve. And can withstand impacts with solid steel. But probably the most insane part of its Pokedex information is that all of its thrashing around is enough to topple mountains.
Yeah.
Pupitar's out here keeping up with Dragon Ball. And please, I'm not saying Pupitar can defeat Goku.
I'm not.
I know better than to make that kind of statement. Which do you think would win? All of the Pokemon or your mental health? Pokemon fact
The Pokemon,
number
easy.
248. Did you
Mental
know
health,
that Tyranitar
no chance.
is described as a mobile disaster? I don't think I can overstate just how powerful Tyranitar is. In just one of its mighty hands, it has the power to make the ground shake and mountains crack.
Well, that not only that, but Entei would create volcanoes. Tyranitar and Pupitar would pulverize them into soil, and then Larvitar would eat them. Perfectly balanced, as all things should be.
Crumble. I mean, I think the fact it looks like Godzilla isn't really a coincidence. Tyranitar brings down mountains just to make its nest. And if it rampages, it knocks down even more entire
cycle
mountains
continues.
and buries rivers to the point that maps need to be redrawn after it's done. Look, Lugia should have been part water type. It just suits better. Pokemon
Does.
fact number 249. Did you
Water
know that
Psychic
Lugia
would have been better.
hides away because it's too strong? So Lugia is so devastatingly powerful that even doing the most basic things like flapping its wings have nightmarish consequences for the world. Not only is a light fluttering enough to annihilate people's houses, but if Lugia were to actually fully flap its wings, it just starts a 40-day-long storm. And that's just from one flap. But thankfully, Lugia seems intelligent enough to understand its insane power, so it voluntarily exiles itself to live in the deepest trenches of the sea. And I will always stick by the opinion that Lugia should have been water psychic type, with levitate as its ability because, you know, it does fly. Hey, tomorrow's the final
Dragon Water would make the most sense. I mean, I guess so, but Lugia is meant to, like, be able to speak, use telepathy. Like, for once, the movie version of a Pokemon is the proper version. Because Lugia was specifically designed for the movie. So it was definitely going to be psychic. But the fact that if it flaps its wings, it like fucking destroys the place. It would make more sense if it's water psychic. Because it could fly using its psychic powers and not have to flap its wings to fly. You know, so when you bring it around, you know, as a, you know, a child, you're not just wreaking destruction everywhere. You thought it was water flying before that YouTube short? Yeah. When it's actually, it's, psychic flying. Which is weird as fuck. Ooh.
Pokemon fact for Generation 2. Let me know in the comments if you had a favorite. Pokemon fact number
Let me know in the
250.
chat if you had a
Did
favorite.
know that Ho-Oh has likely caused Ash Ketchum to be blessed with eternal happiness. That's right, remember all the way back to the first episode of the anime? Ash saw Ho-Oh flying away in the sky. Well, firstly, the Pokedex tells us that it will only reveal itself to pure-hearted trainers, but more importantly, those who see Ho-Oh are promised eternal happiness. Given that recently
Lucky
Ash
bastard.
became the champion of champions, that's looking to be true. Now let's just hope.
Oh, I take a call for a few minutes and Chrome does something and errors out, but I can see your stream again? Oh, bro, I don't know what's been going on. Apparently YouTube's been shitting itself as well. But welcome back, Tamako.
Hope Ash doesn't show up to the next region struggling against basic everyday Pokemon. Well, that would never happen, right? This is the final fact from Generation 2. So that's 2 generations down, 7 more to go. Pokemon fact number 251. Did you know that Celebi is from the future? So as people might know, Celebi has the power to travel through time. But what's strange is that the Pokedex specifically states that it comes from the future. Given Celebi's link to nature and being a forest guardian, it seems strange that it comes from forward in time instead of in the past. Even weirder is that we're told that when Celebi disappears deep into a forest, it's leaving behind an egg that it brought from the future. What does that mean? Why an egg from the future? Is it its own egg? Another egg? Who knows? Celebi's also said to only appear during times of peace. So why did it leave the future in the first place? Maybe the future doesn't have any forests or organic life left.
If it only appears during time of peace, why did it leave the future in the first place? Think about it, I'm telling you. I'd say my favorite oh, I read that already. Hey, Austin, did you miss anything? Yes. The entirety of, the Pokemon facts from Generation 2. Manga's sick, too. Favorite, was the Larvitar evolution? Bruh. Is that because of Dragon Ball? Probably Snubble, because the poor doggo. Ah, fucking Snubble. Snubble doesn't deserve that. I guess Celebi, links with Paradox well? Well, boy, do I have some theories for the Paradox Pokemon. I believe they're not real. They're all fake and created by the 3rd Legendary. From the power of belief. So I don't think they're real at all. So I don't think the Paradox Pokemon come from the future or the past. Oh, it's a cool typing. Fair. Oh, the Charizard. Has it kicked off yet? What, do you watch them come out of a time machine? Okay, so I plan on doing a video about this because the Scarlet and Violet book that you can find in the school's library, and just some other stuff in general makes me think that the 3rd Legendary has, using the Pokemon Professor, whether it's Sada or Turo's, power of belief in the Scarlet book, has caused the Pokemon to become real, including the, causing the, time machine become real as well. Like, I don't think the time machine is actually a time machine. I think that all of the crystal shit that's been going on related to terrestrialization, all of that was started, and the Pokemon that it pulls through is actually just belief and dreams made real. And there's entire reasons for this, including the Violet book outright saying that the sketched version of Virizion is an imagined fake Pokemon. How come the third legendary just isn't in the game yet, though? Because it's going to be DLC. It's definitely going to be DLC. What do you think Pokemon Go will put Paldean Pokemon into the game? I'm not sure. I would assume soon, right? Because they've pretty much caught up. DLC to make more money? I prefer that than the fucking third version. Like, I stand by this absolutely, that a DLC is better than getting a fucking, like, third version of the game that we have to buy again. Think about it, like, Pokemon Platinum was the better version. So there was no point in buying fucking Diamond and Pearl. Curious, are Sada and Turo considered husband and wife, or are they different parents to different Arvins? I think that, because if you read one of the journals when you go down into the bases, one of them say that specifically she walked out. Like if you're in Violet, Turo talks about a woman leaving and needing another companion, so he makes the AI. And I am assuming that in Scarlet, it will talk about a man leaving. So I think that in the lore, Sada and Turo are meant to be partners. And that they were down there. Because it said that they were gifted a son. So because they're the parents of Arvin, each in their respective worlds, I think that they were meant to be a couple. Because they were both scientists if they were both down there on an expedition. You know? So Sada and Turo are definitely meant to be a couple. The third legendary is meant to be linked to Terrestrial. Yeah, it is. You can see a picture of it in the fucking Violet book. And it's just a bunch of fucking hexagons. It looks like a eldritch horror being from space. The primals. Oh, that's good. Imagine if the third legendary is all of the Terrasilize combined into one. That'd be a bit like Arceus. It is meant to be the cause of the Terrasil phenomenon. Yeah, but I think that's just because think about it. The crystals are able to change reality enough that it can change a Pokemon's type to another one. Normally, you would need Arceus and the plates for a Pokemon to change its type like that, or conversion, but that's more gameplay. In the lore, so that's quite crazy. So I think that if the crystals are extensions of the legendary, that here, you know what? Let me pause and fly over to the fucking library to talk about this, because I fucking love this shit. This is what I live for. Pokemon lore, baby. That would be the dumbest hat ever. Dumbest whatever? All terrors in one hat. Oh, I get it. You know what, let me bring up. Let's make this bigger for the moment. No, don't talk to you. Stop it. Look at this. An imagined Pokemon. So, this outright says it's a drawing of a fantastical Pokemon as envisioned by our sketch artist. the compactness and cruelty of the strange Pokemon that dwell in Area Zero's lower reaches tickled the artist's imagination, prompting this sketch of what other species that inhabit these depths might look like. So this is very clearly a mix between Virizion, Cobalion, and the fucking other one. So, like, it's a mix between all three. And then Scarlet has a mix between Suicune, Raikou, and Entei in the Scarlet book. If we see this Pokemon become real, that confirms it in my head that the Legendary is somehow creating them as opposed to them actually being real Pokemon from the past and future. And the fact that they're just the fact that they're called Paradox Pokemon means that they shouldn't really exist because they're paradoxes, which would make sense if they were created from someone's imagination. Did you already watch the facts? Yes, pretty much. There's I think Celebi's the last one. But yeah, watched all the facts. Welcome in, Morlock. But don't worry, the VOD will also be up if you wanna see what I've said about certain ones and everything like that. So the third legendary is just all of the legendary trios combined into one. Oh no, this is an example of an imagined Pokemon. The legendary Pokemon is this. The third legend is this. Whatever the fuck this is. So I don't know what... I think it just says a disc Pokemon. Because I don't know what it's saying. But while separated from the research team in the crater's depths, I found a strange entity. Whether it was a Pokemon or even alive at all, I know not. It bore a skull with layers of overlapping hexagons, and gleamed brighter still than gemstone. Viewed as a whole, it resembled a mysterious, brilliant disc. So whatever the fuck this is related to this shit as well. Apparently that Heath, the initial person who went on the expedition, walked off, went unconscious, and sketched a bunch of random shit on a sheet and said he remembered talking to someone in an unfamiliar dream-like space. And it was in his handwriting, but he has no memory of writing this. Not really related, but I love the banana pie paradox. It's what got me interested in that kind of stuff. So surely it has bits of each Terra in it. The Pokemon, yes, the crystals are hexagons. And then this is Area Zero sketched out. What I find interesting is that the crystals that absorb the labs and stuff like that seem to already be down there in this sketch, which is meant to be way before the professor ever gets down there. And legends tell that precious stones or wondrous fruits have long slept in Area Zero's depths, protected by some manner of guardian. We have not met that guardian. Not only that, but I'm pretty sure the fruit that they've drawn there looks like the fruit that came off the big tree in the Crown Tundra. And the magical stones could easily be fucking Mega Evolution stones or a reference to them. Oh, from Galar. They are hexagons. And this, the mysterious plates. There's strange symbols and shit on them. They can't damage the metal in any way, and they don't know what it means. What else? Our generous sponsor. So Heath is here, and he looks pissed off, and he's with the sponsor, who was the director of Yuva Academy. I don't know why they've shared this, but it's really fucking weird. Not only that, guess what Heath's Pokemon is? Have a guess. It's fucking Cyclizar. What are the legendaries confirmed to be Paradox versions of? Cyclizar. What does that mean? Who fucking knows? But, I find it very interesting that his partner Pokemon was a Cyclizar, and the main legends of the game, Miraidon and Koraidon, are past and future versions of his partner Pokemon. That seems extremely coincidental for me. Because why would they include this? You know what I mean? Sent back in time or future and transformed. But how would it get sent back? See, this is my problem. Why was there future Pokemon? Or past Pokemon? I thought that... Wasn't the professor meant to build the time machine? You know? So... How would there be a future Donphan without any time machine yet? That's why I think they have to be created. I think they were created from belief in these Pokemon. But they do have this, which is a picture of one, which I find really strange. That's the one thing that confuses me. But everything else, I think, was formed through the professor's belief that these Pokemon are real and from the future. Because you'll notice the other version of the game's Pokedex entries for the Paradox Pokemon. For example, if I have Iron Valiant and I trade it over to Scarlet or vice versa, like one of the Scarlet Pokemon and back to mine, it says that the Pokemon were referenced in an occult magazine. So apparently these Pokemon are already talked about in an occult magazine from a long time ago. Which makes it seem like in Scarlet, the Violet book is known to be bullshit. And in Violet, the opposite book is known to be bullshit in the other game. And it's thought of as an occult book that references these Pokemon. And I think it's that these were written by the author as fictional. And then, like, this author wrote it as fictional. And then the professors go down there, fully believing in this book, and the third legend runs off that belief and makes them real, kind of like the Unknown did in the third Pokemon movie with Entei. Because there shouldn't have been past and future Pokemon yet, because there was no time machine yet. So, the author writes this bullshit as if it's real, has a Cyclizar mentioned as well, and then the professors fully believe this, and basically create that to be reality, not knowing that there's a legendary feeding off of their belief. The time machine potentially made a tear in space-time that opened a gate for things to leak through, including the Pokemon that creates things through imagination. But potentially, but that would be strange. Because that's just opening up a shitload of paradoxes. And I guess they are paradox Pokemon. But, see, I think the time machine is not a time machine. Like, technically, the time machine, with the way that we saw it function, captures the Pokemon and brings them into the fucking, into the world through it. It shouldn't have been able to do that at different points in time. How did the professor go into it? Because if well, technically it would be a functional time machine if the professor believed that it could bring him to the future or the past. Because if the legendary feeds off belief, it would have made it actually function. Does that make sense? So there's already belief in an occult magazine confirmed by the opposite version of the games. If the professor believes this occult magazine is fact, which is the Scarlet or Violet book, then of course they're going to believe that stuff like Iron Thorns, Iron Jugulus are all real, and thinks he's taking them from the future. When really, the third legendary is just creating these things like the Unknown did in the third movie when it created Entei. But not only that, it's related to the Herba Mystica as well. Oh, you're going to work? Have a good time at work, Austin. So we've got the Herba Mystica, which, keep in mind, if this book is fictional, then the legendary would also cause the Herba Mystica to be given powers as well. So Area Zero was home to wondrous herbs that instantly impart vigor when eaten. We dubbed them Herba Mystica and attempted to grow some in areas around Paldea. However, before we could harvest, the herbs were eaten by Pokemon, which in turn grew large and strong. We call these Titan Pokemon. So, I think belief in the herbs having an effect on things gave them that power. Because the herbs were apparently came from Area Zero. There are no Titan Pokemon in Area Zero. Where the Herba Mystica are from. Why is that? Why is it only outside? So they took these Herba Mystica, believed that they could impart strength and vigor, planted them, and then they made Pokemon gigantic. But there's no gigantic Pokemon in Area Zero. Which makes me again think that the herbs could have been useful, but it's the belief that the herbs had these magical powers that caused them to have those powers by the third legendary, making it real. Are you winning, son? Yes. Welcome in, this is Hyrule. Jukebox Jim, I smoked some Herba Mystica the other day, bruh. But yeah, does that make sense? That I think the third legendary is making people's belief in things real. including a belief that there's paradox Pokemon. And that's, again, when it says an imagined Pokemon here and it shows the fucking three Unova Guardians mixed together. And the Scarlet Book shows Entei, Raikou, and Suicune mixed together. This is just completely confirmed as being a fucking made-up drawing of a Pokemon. So if that Pokemon ends up turning up in DLC, then it's fucking solidifying my theory, for me at least. Because it says it right there that it's imagined. If they make it real, it's because the legendary has some fucking crazy reality-bending powers to do with belief. And again, it's this. Whatever the fuck this creature is, it looks like an entire planet. And on the right side, it seems to have what looks like, I don't even know, waves? Like an ocean on it? On the left side, you've got clouds and shit. It has a crown. It's full of hexagons. And at the very top, not the very top, but slightly above it, above its crown there, is the symbol for terrestrialization. See that? That's the symbol for terrestrialization above the crown. Bee King confirmed. So what the fuck is this? This is the weirdest thing they've ever added in Pokemon. Like, I can't tell. Is this an eye or some shit? I can't tell what this is. It looks like a planet of hexagons in space that controls crystals. Custom Terra type? It could be. But at the very least, this fucking creature thing looks like it's an entire planet. Oh, the crown. You could be right. Wouldn't surprise me if it's got like fucking... Maybe the third legendary was down in Area 0 since it was made. And if so, what made Area 0 and caused the legendary and terrestrial crystals to form? A Megastone-powered Kalos' super weapon only a country away during a Great War. Well, it's not confirmed that it's only a country away, but we can assume that Kalos is right next door. Hopefully it is. Well, this could have been the country that was hit. It could have made the crater. The super weapon was filled with, or the super weapon looks like it was made out of crystals, and now suddenly we've got all these fucking crystals. But who knows? Maybe it's actually a mega version. Like if it got hit by the fucking beam of the legendary weapon. Maybe it was hit by the beam and Mega evolved, and it is a legendary. And then fucking in the DLC, we do go to Kalos a little bit. Fuck around and find out. What? You know, they mention hexagons a lot, and the only other Pokemon that I know that has such a relation to hexagons is Zygarde. Because Zygarde has all those hexagons on its body. Each one of the Zygarde cells also has hexagons. But I don't think this is going to relate to Zygarde, but I just find it odd that it's got hexagons. And also seems to be a planet. It looks like a Fabergé egg. What about the bee Pokemon? You like Combee? Bruh, if this was a Combee, I'd be fucking pissed. So yeah. I have theories. Big theories. All because of this damn Scarlet book. I mean Violet book. Fuck. Not the bees. It was the bees. All right. You know what? Gonna watch Celebi, and then that's gonna be the end of the stream because I was only meant to watch the fucking main video. The compilation of Pokemon facts. And then it turned off into me rambling about theories about planet Pokemon. So let's finish off Celebi. And then I'm gonna head off then.
Why did it leave the who knows?
Let me go back to the start of this.
In the Fun fact number 2. Pokemon. Well, that would never happen, right? This is the final fact from Generation 2. So that's 2 generations down, 7 more to go. Pokemon fact number 251. Did you know that Celebi is from the future? So as people might know, Celebi has the power to travel through time. But what's strange is that the Pokedex specifically states that it comes from the future. Given Celebi's link to nature and being a forest guardian, it seems strange that it comes from forward in time instead of in the past. Even weirder is that we're told that when Celebi disappears deep into a forest, it's leaving behind an egg that it brought from the future. What does that mean? Why an egg from the future? Is it its own egg? Another egg? Who knows? Celebi's also said to only appear during times of peace. So why did it leave the future in the first place? Maybe the future doesn't have any forests or organic life left because of a large conflict. So Celebi's protecting the last natural Pokemon egg. And if you want to binge watch the full Gen 2 fact compilation, the video is going to be going up right now.
We just did, and what a compilation. 10 out of 10 in my book. All right, thank you everybody for watching. Tomorrow I don't know if I'm gonna be on. I'll mention into my Discord if I am gonna be on. But thank you for watching. Thanks for coming in. Sorry, let me just pop the Discord into the chat. Thanks for popping in as well, Tamako. Hope you had a good time. All right, everyone. I might see you tomorrow. I'll let the Discord know. If not, I will probably see you on one of the other days, like Friday or the weekend. But yeah, I hope everyone had a good time, and I will see you again.